Hey everyone, Sawmill Charlie. Hey, I don't know whether you heard it, but it seemed like my intro song was all crazy. All right, we got the other one speaker turned off. Everybody's coming in. Hey, Lisa and Mark and David and Randy, Shane from up in Canada, Grammy, um, and Larimore, which is Keith down there in South Carolina. Well, it's been pretty nice weather here today, all day. It's been in the maybe low 80s, and no rain in sight for the next week. But we're gonna jump up like down south, up there in about the mid 90s or upper 90s. Hey, and hey, there's Brian. Did didn't and know everybody. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop the link while we're here. Pin it. Anybody wants to hop in, come on in. I don't know. I'm sure that Bob will be in a little while. You know, hey, Haas. So that's what's been happening here. I've been feeding about four different nukes that are young queens here for the last several weeks. I gave them some Pro Sweet, just straight Pro Sweet, which is really thick sugar water, kind of like honey. Hopefully that'll get them through. Gave them a little bit of a pollen patty, some of that global patty stuff. See if they will take that. Been watching Ian up there doing that along with Brad up there in Canada and putting pollen patties on. The goldenrod hasn't started here yet, at least in my area. I know that one of our followers who lives north of me here, only maybe 20 minutes or so, he says it's starting to pop up there. So, but that's pretty much it for me. The bees are looking good. That little purple hive right behind me there with the block up on top, it's not still not doing any good. I don't see any queen action in there, even though I've seen a young queen walking around. And Larimore says he's got me on the big screen here. What's that? One of them big 50-inch television screens or something? And Grammy says you got a few buds down there where she's at. And of course, it's a little bit warmer down that way. Here's Chris. Hey, Chris, the bug man. Laramie says it's 70. Yeah, it's right now here it's 76. Sunday, it's supposed to jump to 90 and then get up like 98 degrees throughout the beginning of next week. Hey, there is. Hey, honeybee compound. And there's Brad. Hey, Brad, good to see you. Yeah, follow bee people getting darker earlier. Yeah, I know it's the way it is. I used to get on another chat on Friday nights that I would get in after dark. Oh, okay, I mean, where you been at? I'm like, well, I've been out in the bee yard. That's where I've been at, trying to get stuff done and everything. He's got my Bugman's got me on a 65-inch TV. All right. Hopefully I won't break it. There's Lee and all that. But so anyway, it's supposed to get hot. Apivar, it's been on there for 6 weeks in my hive since I think it's the 28th of July. It's ready to come out. Um, I'd like to go and put Apivar or Formic Pro on next, but it it's just way too hot for that now. I know, Brad, are you still in the honey house processing honey up there in Canada? I'm sure it's He's an hour behind us. So, and Chris has been, they had that storm down there. And Lee, he's staining up 4 boxes there. He's making that fancy beehive office desk and all that. So that's what's happening here. Hopefully, I'll say I can get out into the bee yard, but it looks like next week definitely is not going to be a switch around on the new treatments. Brad, you've been pulling honey, feeding bees. Had to go to the city today, so nothing moved here. He's tired and all that. So get rested up here, Brad, and come on in. Lee, you can come in for a while if you'd like. Or Mark, anybody else, or Chris. So Larimore is saying they got 11 inches, 11 and a half. That's a lot of rain. Marky pulled full 11 supers full of honey. Hey, Phil, how's everything out in Texas? I'm sure it's hot out there for sure. Come on in and talk some bees. There's Todd. You're saving my day.
How you doing, Charlie?
All right. How's California right now?
Yeah, it's not too bad. It was a nice day today, a lot cooler than normal. Tomorrow it's only going to be like 83, 84. Same thing Sunday. I think it gets into the upper 80s on.
We are going to go skyrocketing 95 to 98 degrees starting Sunday on into the first, I'll say to the middle of the week.
Yeah.
Maybe some rain. I think they said Thursday, which we haven't had any much rain.
Wow.
So hopefully everybody's having a great Labor Day weekend. I'm not really going anywhere normally. I mean, I used to go to a bluegrass festival up in New Jersey, but all the bands that I used to follow are either dead or quit. Most of them are passed away. They were all the pioneers of the music.
Yeah.
And so a friend of mine, Danny's playing Monday afternoon at 1. So I'll go see him and stay off the roads.
Yeah. Yeah. All the crazies are out.
Up in that area there is quite a congested area. Yeah. And so I just stay home. My son, he cut some hay down and went up and tedded it out and fluffed it up to get it to dry. I don't know. Supposed to so Brian's in New Jersey. Oh, in Woodstown. That's where the festival is at the Salem County Fairgrounds.
Did you get a good harvest this year on hay? How was the yield? Was it?
Yeah, it was good. As far as I know, it was good. My son's taking all that over, and he does quite well with it. He studied it in college, and about fertilizer and all the additives, and then also cleaning up the fields as far as getting rid of any undesirable plants. And like I asked him, I said, "What are you spraying out there in the spring?" Well, it's pre-emergent. And I said, "Well, what's that?" And he said, "It doesn't let the weed seeds germinate."
Yeah.
I said, "Okay." But people talk about pesticides and this and that. And I said, I got all this stuff right around my hives. It doesn't seem to affect me.
Funny you mentioned that pesticide issue. I had somebody ask me if my my honey is organic because my bees are on an organic farm. And I said, well, no, because I can't control where they fly. But then she gave me a little pushback, and then I said, well, if you really think about it, nothing really is organic anymore, because Roundup has been used around the world for 30 plus years. And that stuff kind of floats up into the atmosphere. And then when it rains, it comes back down. Yeah, it's weakened. It's in molecule size, on water, but it's everywhere now.
Yeah. Larimore wants to know what kind of hay. We've always we used to grow Timothy, but then the genetics of the hay through the seed companies. Hey, Chris.
What's up, Chris?
Welcome. And it has changed to where it's really coarse and stalky, and the horses don't like to eat it. So now the stuff that they used to call junk hay, which is orchard grass, is the hot thing amongst the horse people. So, go figure. It's all, it's like I tell the horse, well, I don't like that color. I said, you realize the horses are colorblind? They only see black and white.
They don't care.
They don't hear that. So,
I said, you realize the horses are colorblind? Oh. They only see black and white.
Sorry.
They don't care.
Is that you, Chris?
Yeah, accidentally hit the wrong button.
Well, I had that music going crazy, and I realized what it was. That I had the other side of the YouTube on and didn't turn the thing.
Yeah, so I had a fun conversation with that gal, and she finally kind of realized what's going on.
He passed his journeyman test, placing master level Colorado master beekeeping program. That's fine. I don't have a problem with being a master beekeeper. It's just the fact it seems like the EAS bunch are very, I don't know, cliquey, I'll say.
Yeah, my mentor is actually the trainer for that, believe it or not.
What's that?
The master beekeeping course.
Yeah.
He's the one that actually teaches it.
Where at what location? At Colorado or?
No, Georgia University just called him up last week. He turned that down. They were going to give him $10,000 to teach the class. He goes, and they wanted him next month. He goes, you got to at least give me 3 months, 4 months before you guys call me. He's like, he turned it down.
Formal education. Well, Brian's talking about EAS master beekeepers. That's the one that's the one that's predominant here. Now, there's a really nice program that I've kind of read up on is down in Florida, out of the University of Florida down there, which is a master beekeeper program. But you'll talk to EAS. EAS said, well, we're the best out of all those programs. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
Everybody says they are. That's what that's what Mitch told me. He's my mentor. He's like, he hates teaching those courses because, you got these beekeepers. They come in there thinking they know everything. And it's like.
Well, they did have a thing where one of the ladies, I won't call her lady. She's me and her butt heads. But
come on, darn it.
She got her EAS master beekeeper thing. And she did describe it as a certificate for teaching.
Basically, so that's all.
It's a credential for if you want to be a prominent teacher type person. But I've known several EAS master beekeepers, so they couldn't keep bees alive. They tried. And I'm like, how do you stand up here and call yourself a master beekeeper? And you can't do it, and all that kind of stuff. But it's, like the description said in the newsletter I read, it was more for a person who wants to get up in front of a classroom. It gives them a little more clout, I guess.
No, they just get paid for something they don't know.
I don't know. I know one of them over here, next county over there, every time his bees die, it's always pesticides. And I'm like, are you sure? Maybe it's you.
Well, I have a mixture of what happened to my bee yard when I went out there this morning. I have one hive on one side of my yard where I found the 200 bees dead on the ground. Another precautions were sticking out, so I know those weren't poison. I think those just drowned because they didn't go back in the hive.
Well, I asked Brad from up in Canada. I said, I seen Ian's video where he's pushing the bees down into that one deep box, to get ready for winter. And here's this huge bunch of bees, a couple pounds of bees on the outside of the box.
Yep, and they don't have room to go in.
They don't have room to go in. And I said, what happens? And he said, well, they get cold or whatever, rain,
And they
bad
die.
weather. And he said they'll die.
Yep, that's what happened to mine.
Okay, So I mean, that's when it comes to beekeeping up in Canada, and we're like you say, beekeeping is local. It depends where you live in the country and weather conditions and on how you keep your bees. That's what I've learned. So Mike, you're looking good. Nice, bright, sunny day outside. You must have what, another hour's worth of daylight going?
Yeah, about an hour and a half. Something like that. Actually, I was thinking about you with our heat here that's going to come to you.
Is that what it is? Are you in 90-some degrees out there?
Yeah, and for Sunday and Monday are going to be around 100, and I think this is going to get to you Wednesday or Thursday, Charlie?
Sunday. No,
is it really?
Sunday starts out in the 90s, and then like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's going to be like 98 degrees. I'm like, where did this garbage come from? It's September. It's supposed to get cooler, not hotter.
Yeah,
changing on its axis.
Although honestly, guys, when I was a kid, I remember going to elementary school this time of year. It's Labor Day, going there afterwards, and the schools were in air conditioning. I remember it was hot as hell. So this stuff that we have right here, this heat, is actually kind of typical for us, but it's not comfortable, and it's windy as all get out too, getting the breeze from the south. But that heat dome to our west and southwest is coming up here and then just moving to kiss us and then go to you.
Yeah. The only good thing was this high that's kind of whipping it around, bringing it to us, kept all them storms and stuff away.
Yeah, and
come out to sea.
And the only thing that I really don't like about this weather right now is the stronger winds, because the bees are trying to forage what they can, and their wings are just going to wear out easier, and we're losing, what pollen we have coming in. So, just a 2 cents there. Sorry to interrupt, Charlie.
Oh, that's all right. No, your video is looking great tonight. Your sound is sounding really nice. It's a good volume and everything. You get a new camera or
no, Charlie, I still have to replace my Linux machine. I have my phone out in the back deck, so I can't see people's comments coming up.
Yeah,
but,
is that what you're using now? Is your phone?
Yeah, and I used it the other night too when I was in my shop, and thank goodness Brad said something about talk a little quieter. I'm paraphrasing, but I guess it was loud as all get out. So, Todd and Chris, what do you guys have for temperatures there? Or what's your weather like?
Beautiful. Today was beautiful. We got in the 80s with no humidity for once.
It was 91 here, 92.
That's the biggest problem down there, Chris, is the humidity in it all the time.
All the time, except for since the storm came through, blew it away. But we get back next week.
I don't see how you stand it. I mean, we'll have a stretch of it, and then finally it goes away for a while.
Yeah, it stays for 5 months here. So you tend to get used to it.
I'm bad. About a week's worth is about all I can stand.
Yeah, you were talking about beekeeping being regional, and that's my mantra. Try to bring everybody, but living conditions are regional. I mean, there's no way I could stand Todd's temperature out there. 20 below is comfortable to me. This 90, 95 makes me.
God bless.
I don't think I can handle that.
Have my share of it. I don't want it.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm Norwegian too, so I'm genetically set for the cold temperatures. So,
hey, Phil. Hello.
Oh, Phil.
What's up, buddy?
Your cat
Hey,
away.
guys.
Oh, Phil.
Hey, Mike.
Oh, there goes the cat.
Now we just need to get DC in here and Lisa. Come on.
Well, you know, I was just thinking here, you know, it's quite interesting that you know, Mike's got a cat and Brad's got cat and there's several beekeepers here. We almost like cats more so than dogs, you know.
I love them both.
I got chickens.
Chicken. Yeah.
They serve a
fine.
purpose. They give me eggs.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
I had chickens for a little while, but
Kind of fun. I'm, you know, despite it's as hot as it is right now, it must be the wind, guys, because, well, it's not that hot. I mean, it's probably 88 or something like that. But my hives really aren't bearding. It's got to be the wind. And I put some thymol on, heck was it, yeah, let's see, that was 4 days ago. So they were chased out for a little bit, but they're fine now. But, anyways.
Yeah. So you say you had a bunch. How much rain do you say you had, Chris?
Well, it rained all day on Wednesday from sun up to sundown, but my backyard only got about 3 inches that remained.
Right.
I'll be right back, guys. My daughter's dropping something off. I wonder what this is.
Ooh.
Yeah, she took her snake yesterday, so I don't know what's being exchanged here. So
Snake.
Well, if it's ticking, run away.
Yeah, I'll be back.
All right. Yeah. Now, weather-wise, we've been having great weather here in Maryland and all around us. But I was wondering. I know, was it Rhonda? It's down in Florida.
Yes, I was wondering how she's doing down there.
Well, I didn't get to talk to her last night, but they said she was right. You know, it was pretty tough down there because it was right in the path of that hurricane and everything. So hopefully her hives didn't blow over. Of course, she's in good shape. You know, I think they're inland pretty good. So anyway, so what's happening out in Texas, Phil? Anything?
hold on. I'm getting called by my daughter. Hang on a second.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. We all need daughters calling us.
Okay. You want to come say hi to the guys?
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, my daughter's back to go hang out, but she's going to come say hi before she leaves. Hold on. There you go.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, there we go.
Hey.
That's Sophie.
Getting up.
Yeah, he's got a kitten. Mike does. She likes your cat, Mike.
So, Phil, what's going on down in Texas? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Well, it's, you know, we had a little break from the heat this week, I think. It's still hotter than what you guys have been talking about. But we've been 97, 98 every day, and we've been getting into like the mid 70s in the morning, which is nice because it was like 85 the week before in the mornings. It never did get cooled off. So the next week is going to heat up again. I think the lows are going to be in the low 80s, and the highs are going to be back up in the low 100s again. So not up yet, but rain is what we really need. We hadn't had all this rain the rest of the country's been getting. We've got nothing. It's been awful.
No, same here, Phil.
You need to start doing your rain dance.
Yeah, I will. You tell me.
We'll send you ours.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I had a lady come in today and she was talking about the drought. And I'm like, I really didn't consider in our area the drought. I mean, things are not burning up per se. I mean, like I say, my son's going to get this hay up here the next day or two. But, you know, it's good to get all that kind of stuff in. Hey, Steve. And all that. And like I got some orders or a delivery where it's up this guy's front lawn, which is like a hill. And it's like, he finally called today. And I'm like, why didn't you call 2 days ago when I had a truckload of firewood that I could have got in there, you know? But that's always the way. Either that or they wait till the day before it rains. And then you never get in there. So, but water-wise, we're not too bad.
Good.
And
Good.
all that. But
No, we could definitely use some rain here, Charlie.
yeah, I mean, we could use some rain for sure. But
Mike, your rain comes in that snow though.
yeah,
You can have all the snow you want.
I will take all the snow. I will definitely take it. Actually, last year was the most snow we've had in, I don't know, 10, 15 years. And it was wonderful because we actually literally didn't have, well, okay, so we're out the cemetery and we literally had the ground frost that went down an inch. And normally it goes down several feet and people's septic systems can freeze and so on. Not last year. We just had that much depth. And it really helped, the groundwater situation. Our lake right here is pretty much groundwater dependent, and now it's down 2 feet. So, but this will be our third year of a drought. So, I'm moving the bees off of Coon Lake Beach. They're going to be closer to the Minnesota-Wisconsin border. It's a valley, and it stays wet there. So, just one of those things to deal with. But Charlie, I have my cousin was out in the Chesapeake today fishing.
oh yeah,
Yeah, they were out there. I was really kind of surprised to hear how the size of the sea bass or rockfish,
the rockfish.
has gone down that much. Because they were talking about getting 5 and 8 pound, and normally a good sized one to him is about 35 pounds. So,
Oh yeah, they limited them from, you couldn't catch any of them for quite a while, and because of that kind of stuff.
now was that with Virginia or Maryland? Because I know one of them had a stronger, taking care of the Chesapeake Bay routine going on. I can't remember which one.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
I don't either, Charlie.
Don't know the area that well. I mean, there's a bunch of rivers and stuff like the Chop Tank and all that kind of stuff. But I'm not real familiar with the area over there, that as far as all the different names of the rivers and stuff.
Yeah. And actually, I was trying to encourage my nephews to go, and they were earlier this summer. Actually, I think it was in the spring. They were out bow hunting the snakeheads, and I guess those are actually fairly good eating if you grill them. And that would have been on the Potomac. That's what it was, Charlie. I was trying to remember the name of that one, but so. Did any of you guys see Ed's review on that other electric sublimator?
Mm-mm.
I just started to watch it before I saw you logged on, and I see Ed's in the background. Ed, I can't see your comments, but I was just, it's. I think it's about half the price of
the vaporizer.
The vaporizer. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you're still correct on the terminology.
Yeah. But
I don't know. I haven't kept up with him and he. I know he bought another off-brand type of unit.
Yeah. And the one before he even stopped the video, and I didn't know if he did this, I thought it'd be really interesting to take a laser thermometer and measure bowl temperature. Because that's the one thing about the engineer, was it a Hungarian engineer?
Yeah,
that came up with the Larabis.
I think so.
He was very specific about controlling the temperature, because if you sublimate oxalic acid crystals at off temperatures, it produces either more moisture or whatever. I can't remember. Yeah,
it turns into a gas that's not good for the bees or something like that.
Yeah. He it was an interview with Fred or Cayman where he goes into all that, and I can't remember. It's been a while.
I think it was Fred.
That seems to ring a bell.
Was it Fred or was it Cayman Jack or Cameron Jack? I don't know. He was the one that was saying it wasn't any good or whatever. And that was the time when I seen him the week before in person right here in Maryland. And, it's like you did your experiment with that stuff in Florida and you don't have a winter. And you're not broodless, and that kind of stuff. And
and again, Mr. Charlie, it's regional.
Yeah, I think it works better when you go north. and where you have broodless periods and stuff like, or at least near broodless. Where I'm at, it's depending on the weather. I don't think the bees really go completely broodless, but they go pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, I'm really
There's
surprised.
Brad says it's too hot and it produces mostly CO2 and water vapor.
Okay. Of course, Brad would know that. Thank you, Brad.
Yeah, I got that gas vap, and it seems it's probably got that. It probably sublimates too hot because there's no control over that temperature really.
Well, Phil, can't you dial down the? I mean, that's propane. Can't you dial it down a little bit? Or
You can, but it's right. That flame is right there on that.
Hey, Bob.
I know.
So I don't think you can get it. It takes a little while for it to heat up, but once it heats up, it really spews that stuff out. But
and you know something, guys, I've never done this before, but it'd be really interesting to do with a screen bottom board with a door in. I know we all know several of the beekeepers that like to hit their hives like once a week with the Oxalic. Just umpteen grams, and just to knock it down. I suppose that would be kind of akin to using the shop towels. But if you had a battery thing, I think Fred Dunn's kind of said it best. I think he said the thing I like about it the most is the convenience. And any tool that's more convenient, you're more likely to use.
I agree with that. I wonder, they've done a better job of protecting those batteries, but if you start burning through those 4 and 6, 8 amp hour batteries, you're going to get into some real money.
Yeah.
If it's not really protecting your battery, I think.
Yeah. What was it? If you suck the battery down too low, it damages it somehow.
Yeah.
That was the older ones. The lithium ion aren't that way. It was the nickel cadmiums, if I remember right, Charlie. Someone else can jump in there.
Well, Larabi said that they put some kind of a
like an overcurrent.
Oh, the limiter. Yeah.
limiter on these brand new ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you get them down too low, then they won't take a charge, but you can actually jump them with another battery and bring them up a little bit.
But it's like Brad just said there. I mean, them batteries, you have to have at least a 5 amp hour battery minimum.
Right.
Okay.
And they ain't cheap. I think Nancy, my friend in PA, she got 2 batteries and a charger unit. It was like $400. It's as much as a darn unit,
Yeah.
Yeah. And that ain't, it's like, geez. But I'm like Bob Benny. I already got
yeah.
Yeah. Lee says has a protection. It auto turns off when it gets below a certain voltage.
Yeah. I still use some of those old wands, but I have a little voltage reader that it runs through, so I can tell when the battery.
There's black. Yeah, that's the one I like.
Which one?
I like the black one there. But I'm like Bob Benny. I mean, I've got a little Honda generator, and it's one of the. It's not just a generator; it's a alternator or something like that. Generator that puts out even electricity waves.
That's the beauty of the Hondas. Their waveform is a lot more stable.
They don't call them a generator. They call them something else. I forget what the terminology is.
They call them an inverter generator, right?
Inverter unit.
Yeah,
inverter
generator, I think is what they call
inverter generator, whatever that was their terminology. And inverter generator is what Darren said.
Yeah. He said it was an inverter generator.
Yeah. So I mean, all right, yeah, I got to put the generator on the back in it's a little one of them little suitcase jobs, as I call it. And you got your, nice. You just a couple pulls and it runs and quiet and hook up the 100-foot extension cord. And I have, luckily, where I can drive my truck right along my hives, and I'll park the truck and start with the cord stretched towards the back of the truck. Walk, and work down. And then when I get towards the front of the truck, then I just get in the truck and pull it on down some more. I might have to get in there and pull it down 2 or 3 times at the most. And it works fine. You know,
They're beautiful.
I already got the, why spend any more money in what you have to, as far as, you already got the unit bought. So until it breaks, I ain't going to worry about it. And
Yeah.
some people talk about, I'll go to Harbor Freight and buy the,
I was hoping people would start selling their corded ones, and then I would get one of those when they got all the wireless. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Brad, there's an explanation. It's
Further means the AC wave generated electronically. It's stable and both stem generators produce blah, 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 blah. So there is a channel called Project Farm, and the guy does some amazing testing for tools and whatnot. He'll try and break stuff. And he did a test of the Harbor Freight generator, the Honda, and I think there were 3 other ones. And it was that waveform that was interesting.
Yeah.
When you've got it's okay if you got like some kind of tool, but once you start stacking up the electronics that benefit more from a stable waveform.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, if it's more of a, if you're talking about running a skill saw versus running this here ProVap, the ProVap's got, it's more of an electronic module.
It really is.
And, then Project Farm, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, please do. He'd really, he'll test goofy. I put a request into him last year about doing battery heated gloves. And sure enough, they hit it up. And it's just some useful information. He'll do everything from the high end to the low end at different price points. So it's pretty out there. But one thing I really like about the ProVap edition that you can get to, and the doggone stainless steel plungers where you can like pre-pack them and just put them right on. It's just so much. It looks just. I haven't used them. I wrote to Rob about it. I says, you ought to do that on your next model. And sure enough, this one came out with one. But it looks like it's just so much easier to run through.
That's what I have on my ProVap.
Do you? You got the plunger?
Well, yeah.
Good.
Robbie's outfit came out with it first, as far as I'm concerned. And then I went to Hive Life last year, I guess it was. And the guy had them there where you have the cap and it's got a hole that's tapered. You put the cap on that burn pot, and leave it on there. And then on his, you can, it's not as nice as Robbie's, but this one has like a set of nuts, double locking nuts, and you take and screw the plunger back and all that. And what I did is I took the original cap, and I have a little dipper that came with an older pan model. And all it is I think it looks like a 1/4 inch pipe cap, like a copper pipe cap somebody soldered a handle to, and it's supposed to be 1 ounce. And I filled up the cap that how I fill it, and then I took my scale and turned it into grams. And and I don't, had a piece of, I put like a piece of saran wrap or something on my thing, and I just dumped it on to thing, and it came out so many grams. And so I took that unit from ProVap and jammed it into oxalic acid, and then weighed that and what it was pushing out. So it was pushing out, I think 3 or 4. I think it was like 4 grams.
Nice.
Had it set up right off the bat. So I tuned it up a little bit more, and I was doing about 6 grams.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing 6 grams for years.
Oh, really? Good for you.
Well, I've listened to a lot of folks, lecture about this kind of stuff. And when they first, the EPA first said it was okay to use this stuff in the bees, they already knew at that point in time that it was the Brits or whoever in Europe already knew that 2.25 grams was the minimum that was effective. So, you know, you need 5 grams for 2 deeps.
Yeah.
And they're talking 4. Well, you're already under what they already knew scientifically, which was effective. And, you know, it's like, I don't know why our country can't take somebody else's scientific literature and say, okay, if that's the case, well, let's do this.
Yeah, but then you put a bunch of federal employees out of work.
Well, that was one, you
Some of
know,
them need to be.
I wasn't crazy about Obama being president, but actually, I think it was it him at that time? I believe he said, let's not reinvent the wheel. And they took the scientific information from somebody else and said, okay, we'll approve this type of thing. So that's what they did.
Yeah, it was also his same farm program. Whoever's running that, they were talking about eliminating all of the dust on the farms. They said it was dangerous to farm kids. Can you imagine how much it would cost?
You mean like dust out of a combine and stuff like that?
Yeah. I'm like, are you freaking out of your mind? In fact, farm kids have got the lowest rate of allergies that they are because they get exposed to so much. But either way,
playing manure.
Yeah, I remember that argument. I was remembering that argument and everything. You know, it's just like the argument here lately. It's been, well, honeybees are invasive, but because they were brought here by the Europeans when they, came in from Europe, when the Pilgrims came or whatever you want to, which, and so what I found out was if you look up, what is her name? It's like she's a Native American, Kilby, I think her name. She's got a PhD. She's out in the West. And Melanie Kirby, I think is what her name is. And she has fossil imprints, or whatever you call them, of bees, that they found in this country, and they said, well, he says, we just reintroduced them back to, what they went extinct and went and reintroduced them is what her play on that was.
That actually makes a lot of sense, and it didn't change until the Younger Dryas, and that would have been about 11,600 years ago.
Melanie Kirby, I think is what her name. Let me see.
Hey, thanks. I got to look that up.
I thought you were talking about Elizabeth Warren there for a minute.
Hey, can you guys hear the tweeting behind me?
Not really.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to catch it, but I have a male cardinal on the feeder there, and it's feeding the fledglings. It's the male that's feeding them. We've got 3 fledglings. Oh, there they go. Sorry. It's just cool to see. I go out there and have them feeding the babies. So sorry about that.
So I have a little story I guess I could tell. Tuesday I moved the 5 colonies that I had in Louisville, which is not far from my house. I had to move them down to the farm because the neighbor complained about my bees. And so when Sarge and I were moving the bees, I thought it was a neighbor that you could see their like swimming pool through the fence. He said, no, it wasn't them. It's the lady back here. And I said, well, wait a minute. Doesn't she have bees? And he goes, yeah, she has 1 beehive. And he said that she complained that I had too many bees and the beehives were too big. And it's on 4 acres, and she's got like 3 or 4 acres on her place, and said that my bees came over there and robbed out her bees. And she sent a video of them. She set up a little swimming pool feeder for her bees, and my bees were over there drinking the water out of her bees' swimming pool. That's what she said. So. Anyway, they're gone now. So, but I couldn't believe a beekeeper turned me in and to them.
She's a beehaver.
I'm sorry.
If her bees got robbed out by my bees, they were probably destined to get robbed out by somebody's bees.
No, yeah. It's for everybody that's listening to, I got one right here. It's that time of year. you are going to get robbing.
Yeah.
So go out and get yourself a whole bunch of number 8 hardware cloth and make your bee escapes for 10 cents.
No, I don't have that problem yet.
Yeah, well, when you do, just to have them on hand.
I keep it always on the minimum
there's her name
entry.
right there, Melanie K.
Kirby.
Oh.
Thank you, Lee.
I just looked her up.
Oh.
Tim, or probably Tim. Henry wouldn't have said that. Ask her if he needs a mentor.
How are you? Yeah. This is my mouse guard, by the way, here.
He said she has like 20 colonies at a different location, is what he said. So maybe.
Really?
Yeah. I just couldn't believe that she said that was too many bees for that property, because that's ridiculous. What I'm thinking is he's got a really nice like field in the back area. He is probably 2 acres.
Oh, okay.
And I think she wants her bees foraging those flowers in that field.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah, I think you might have hit the head on there.
I don't think that will help.
Well, I was going to set something up. There's like a little drainage ditch that runs through there, but it got dry when it got hot.
Well, now of course, now you're in Texas. So how is your, you got dry weather, so there isn't that much forage to begin with, I guess, out there,
Right,
is it?
Right. Yeah, it's not this time of year for sure. But it depends. Like at my farm, I put a video out last week showing the bees drinking at the edge of the pond there. There's plenty of water in the tanks. But around here, everybody waters their yard year round, and there's a little bit of runoff in all the little canals or ditches. They never dry out, no matter how bad the drought gets, because everybody's watering their yard and there's a little runoff. So
Aren't you worried about fertilizers?
There's plenty of water to drink. It just makes the bees stronger.
Do they produce more fruit or whatever? Put your feet in the backyard and give them to fill up with swarm.
Well,
oh yeah, put a swarm traps out there. They catch your bees,
I may do that next spring. Just hang one on every tree.
Yeah. Let them feed up and then let them swarm.
Well, he had already told me that she had come over there looking for one of her swarms like the year before, but oh well. The bee, there's plenty of water here, but it's foraged. But I think there's, around. I think they're foraging around like the river basins and stuff. There's some stuff probably still blooming around there. But we need a good rain. If we could get a good rain, then we'd get the asters and the goldenrod and all that stuff would come on out. We really need a rain. We need a rain for that.
I used to get a text from the bee inspector that there's a pool a quarter of a mile if it's that far away from me, across the road actually, and through the field. It's like eighth of a mile. That's more like it. And I guess my bees were over there in the trash cans. Of course, they got the soda bottles and all this stuff, and there's nothing going on. Now, last year we had those spider lanternflies come in. They're like a big moth, and they have honeydew, and the bees made all this honey out of their doo-doo. And they had something to do in July and August. Didn't hear no complaints last year or this year. And my hives, I've inspected them last week. Just pulled the top off of every one of them, and they're all pretty much full of honey in there for the winter. And I'm going to feed them, but that's sure has that fall flow, or as I call it, that flow sure has helped me out a lot. I was thinking like last year, 2,000 pounds of honey or sugar, and I knocked it down to 1,500. And this year they're doing pretty good. And I've got like 250 pounds left over from last year. I think I'm going to knock it down to 1,200.
Man, I've never fed even close to that. But
I got 32 hives there, and I mix up 20 gallons of water, 250 pounds of sugar, which is slightly less than 2-to-1 sugar water. And I mix it up, and cook it, and then it makes 40 gallons at a batch, and 40 gallons what it takes to fill all those hives. And that's not filling the big hive. I usually have those Man Lake feeders that's got the two up in the center, and
The
has
trough,
the two
yeah.
they're like 4-gallon feeders, which were great. They would last a couple days, but I only put 2 gallons in one side of it, and to have enough feed for everybody. And I use licensed top hive feeders, the plastic ones, for my 5-frame nukes, which holds approximately 3 quarts. And
I'm gonna guess I probably feed like 200 pounds of sugar at the most.
and
Really?
how many hives?
Right now I've got like 35, but I don't feed all of them. If they've got weight, I don't feed them.
That's really interesting.
But I only feed half to one. I take a gallon and I put a 4-pound bag in a bucket and pour a gallon of hot warm water over top of it. So that's 4 pounds of.
Now with your winter, you don't really have a winter, do you, at all?
Not much. I mean, but we have about 3 days of winter.
So what's the average temperature throughout, let's say December, January, and February?
I'd say December, it's probably 40 to 60 in December.
Yeah.
And it probably drops 35 to 55 in January, and then February is our coldest month. And that's probably 30 to 50 pretty much on a normal day. But it's not much of a winter.
No, but if you're not used to it, that gets your attention.
Yeah, when it's humid. I mean, we will have it'll get down into high teens every now and again, but
Well, I mean, here, last year I
Yeah.
have to say it was warm all the way up to darn near December. We were like, 50s, like we unheard of. And 40s and 50s, high 40s. And just like it was like a sweatshirt weather, it was like slight light jacket weather. It was like, man, it was nothing. And I was worried because I had fed my bees like my normal thing is week or so after Labor Day, let's say the middle of September, I should be done by the 15th of October, because usually it just, the switch hits and it's like, it's cold and they're not going to do anything, or they're not going to fly too much. They might fly during the day, definitely not at night, or, closer to the evening. And, hey, James. And, so they didn't overeat, and that kind of stuff. But, we're kind of like, well, we don't want you to fly. We want you to just go in and stay there for a while,
Yeah.
And then we're looking for, my thing is with treating with oxalic acid in the wintertime is, let me catch 1 or 2 days that might be, let's say 48 degrees. And I say that because it's specific, is that they won't fly, but they're loose inside the hive in a loose cluster, and the vapor gets to them better that way.
Oh, yeah. Let them circulate it.
Well, they can move around. They're not tight.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody says they're all tight like a ball, and
I don't think ours ever go broodless, but I hit them right around Christmas.
Yeah,
it was when I try to hit
they
them.
might go broodless here. I'll say late December in through January, but by 1st of February or so, maybe the second week of February, they've got 2 or 3 inch circle brood. I've seen it in there. Like it was like one of them really extra warm days, 50 some degrees. And I open it up and I happen to pull a frame up, and here's this 2.5, 3 inch circle of cat brood. And then it's rimmed all the way around with eggs. And I'm like, really? And here it is February, but it's true. And
wow. So she was gearing up.
Oh yeah. They gear and
I think they know what's coming.
February, they're gearing up.
Well, they're in tune with this earth. We're not.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting the fact that we're talking about December 21st versus June 21st, and the the switch of the longer daylight versus a shorter daylight. And the fact of the matter is, they're inside. So how do they know how much daylight's outside, except for, I guess, what's coming in through the front door from the foragers and stuff like that?
Yes, I noticed this with other insects also, how they know what's coming. Like with ants, I know if it's going to be really wet or not because they'll start making their mounds out in the middle of the yards.
What do you got?
They know
Them
it's going to get wet.
fire ants? Fire ants?
Yes. And they'll let you know if it's going to rain really good or not.
Really? Interesting.
So now with fire ants, is that a kind of a thing that people in your area are constantly killing?
Yeah, because it's an invasive insect that came from down south. Came up through Texas like everything else.
But I mean, there's something that you can dump on them that they take into the hive and kill everything.
Yeah, they got a variety of insecticides and this and that, and the granules probably work the best for them. But see, they like everything else. Ants have a seasonal thing. Like one time they want sweets, and then another time of the month they want something with grease or meat byproducts. So we have to change our chemicals per what they're feeding on that month or that quarter or whatever.
Really?
So, Chris, do you ever spot spray your ants?
No, because all that does is move them. Because if you spray the top of them, or like some people put grits on them, so that the queens, people don't think there's more than one queen inside an ant mound. So they'll decide it's called budding. Like half of them will go one way, the other half will go another way, and they'll just all of a sudden you got 3 mounds, vice one. So you made it worse.
Yeah.
So we try to use stuff that actually doesn't kill them instantly. We want them to track it down into the hive to kill the larva, because that's what they feed on. Is when they stuff like that. If it kills them on contact, it's useless. So we like to get stuff that they bring down into the hive.
But
whatever you want to call it.
I just spray the entrances and it knocks them way back, but then you have to stay on top of it because, like you're saying, they are doing the budding. But as long as I'm staying on top of it, I just take this and spray like a 2 count at the entrance, and it makes a major difference. But the thing that drives me nuts is that some of the folk that want to just do a whole broadcast spray. I had guys, this is true. I had somebody stop by. They were trying to sell yard care stuff, and they said, "Hey, we'll come and spray your lawn and kill every insect in it." And I said, "Did you happen to see what's right over here?"
Yeah, the hives.
And I'm like, "No, dude, good luck in your sales, but you can leave now."
Yeah.
So just one of those.
Bob?
Charlie, you and Philip didn't get the memo. It's gray t-shirt night.
Oh no.
No.
I think Todd, either has gray or black on. I can.
Mine's green. Dark green.
Green. Oh.
Yeah. You missed. We had a big long conversation about vaporizers, Bob. I know you were.
I was here. I was listening. I was like, man, I don't want to jump into that right now.
Especially when I don't use them. That's why I didn't say nothing.
I treated the M's last weekend in the production colonies, and this weekend I'll go through the rest and probably put some treatment out on there. And I was waiting on my my Appy tablets, but they haven't shown up yet. So
what are those?
It's a
tablets
new deal. Yeah. So there's a company, I think it's out of Europe, Apamon Agriculture, and they make these tablet discs that have it's mostly essential oil. So you treatment-free people will probably love this thing, right? So it's a tablet that you put on top of your colony, and the bees eat it, and supposedly the mites fall from it. So I'm going to give it the old
It's almost like treating dogs for fleas, huh?
Yeah, kind of like that. Yep. So we're gonna see how that thing works.
So what's in it? You know?
No, it just says if I can find the thing. The guy was supposed to send it to me already. He's in Jersey, so I figured it had been here by now, but
No, Charlie, that was my first thought too. What are the ingredients in there, Bobby?
let's see. I'll see if it says on here.
Come here. Come on.
Different subject. Did you guys see the new thing they're doing with bees, training them to search out explosives?
Honeybee?
Yeah, you can go on YouTube and type in bee college.
Really?
It's weird. Yeah, it's called Bee College, and they actually show you where they're taking bees and putting them in a little holding device, and they're teaching them every time they smell a certain chemical, they feed them sugar water.
So
No kidding.
I think.
Yeah,
I
Lee
think
said he's
that-
seen it.
I think that's happening in my backyard.
I saw that little video. It was so that they could sniff out explosives.
Right.
Actually.
Well, the way I look at it, why can't they do that to find people? Because our bees can smell us and know who we are.
well, the thing is that how long is the training program? They only last 45 days in the summertime.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to jump in. That's just so obvious, Bob.
Trying to
Thanks,
train a
man.
dog that lives for a month. It's like,
But it didn't actually.
Well, they
I gotta start over.
They only use the bees. They only use the bees for the one time, then they bring them back to the colonies. Is what they say. So who knows?
Yeah, but down here at Aberdeen Proving Ground, Edgewood Arsenal, which is in the south end of the county where I'm at, that kind of stuff happens down there.
Is that where they're getting your bees from you, there, Charlie?
Nah, they ain't getting from me, but I believe there was somebody down there that was doing something like that. You
That
know,
beat-
a while
Well,
back.
they're welcome.
That
The
bee
government's
story,
welcome to buy mine.
that
I
bee
got
story,
their own bee.
that bee story sounding like the $100 screwdrivers. That's what it sounded like to me.
I was just going to say, I will sell them 1,000 bees at
Yeah.
only $100 a bee.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Northrop Grumman, come on in.
I knew a guy that was selling golf balls that were supposed to have been ball bearings. He kind of wound up in prison over it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But this
Oh.
it's got thymol, essential oils, vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and sugars. That's all it says. It doesn't say if there's like a secret sauce. I mean, obviously,
Might be the thyme oil that's doing it.
yeah, but
That's the only thing I can think of, because all the other is
has
just.
anyone heard of thymol being used for mites or only for gut health? That's the only thing that I've heard it used for. So,
Thymol is what Apigard's made out of.
Exactly.
Mhm.
oh, well, maybe it's a thing. We'll see. I just tried to search their website.
The rest is just a sweetener for them to eat.
Uh,
That'd be one strong smelling urinal cake.
You guys are going to get me spitting everything on my nose tonight.
Yeah, Lee's got the link in the chat there. Hey Lee, how do you take something like that and put it up on the screen? How do you share that? Anybody know?
Lee has to come in and show you.
do what?
Maybe Bob can do it. See,
There's
can you
there's
click on that and bring that up
present
and
on the
show
bottom.
everybody on the chat?
Yeah, you can present a video file. Look at the bottom, Charlie. Or present. Yeah.
I don't know if
I got it up over here. If you don't.
All right, you go ahead and do it.
All right. So,
Hey, Lynn.
entire screen over here. Select. Add the stream.
There we go.
Yeah.
And they're rewarded with sugar water.
Poor little bees.
What's
And
that?
it just makes no sense on a critter that's only going to live for umpteen weeks. But unless you want a beehive in your like airport luggage bay, I don't know.
Then they put them in a little scanner there, and it shows that their procosmus come out. That means it's got the
Yeah. So they show
chemical.
it just open the door and let them go. It's like they've been out of their hive for so long they don't remember where their hive is.
Thank you.
It's like 2 days, and they're like, I don't know where home is. I don't remember.
The funny thing is that device they were holding was something that tested for the explosive gas. Right? That's a
No, no kidding.
Right.
So if you already have that, this is kind of a waste of time. You already have the technology to walk up and hold the thing and see if it's got the particles. That's how they're testing to know if the bees are going to the right place.
Well, no, they put the bees. They put the bees in that thing, and they see if the bees stick their tongue out.
This thing.
If the bees die.
This thing. That's
what they're doing. Yeah, with the bees in it. The bees are in there.
But they have what I'm saying is they do have a tool that sniffs that thing, sniffs the air.
Yeah, they do. It has bees in it.
But like I said, I'd be willing to sell all my bees to them if they want them.
Bob, we got to make a business case here. Okay, get with the program.
And and our detectors are guaranteed to live 21 days.
Unless they don't.
Unless they don't.
Which is bees, right?
I bet PETA is going crazy when they see those bees.
But you know something?
They're not harming them.
No, but it'd be funny as all get out to see some idiot like trying to like bring explosives someplace and all of a sudden see a swarm on that I would pay to see that one.
Explosives just lets the bees go.
But those are some educated bees.
So I want to start training them from as soon as they're hatched, because then they got 14 days of non-flight time to get these bees whipped into shape. Because once they start flying, they got to be able to find the explosive. They're done. Because if it takes 14 days, 21 days, then they've only get a week of flight time.
Hey, Charlie, you need to put Brian C's comment up. That's pretty good.
Who puts that one?
That is the opposite of the keeper.
That is the opposite.
Yep.
That kind of reminds me of how veal is treated, because veal is locked up in a box. They can't move.
You want to go over here?
The bees.
Veal?
Yeah, or whatever.
Baby lamb.
Maybe I thought it was cow. I thought it was
sorry.
I don't know.
All right, we're gonna do our food research.
We got a
troll here.
Uh-oh.
Loser.
What's King is saying?
That's kind of funny, though.
It is kind of funny.
Yeah, it was kind of stupid too.
Insanity too.
He got stung in his pee hole.
King of Sanity, you shouldn't have been doing that with the bee. That's vulgar.
Yeah.
Probably am.
I'll sell this to the FAA.
There we go.
It's I got a couple options there. That one or
hey, I can market my queens for them. All they have to do is rehydrate them. Just rehydrate them, and they can be used for growing synthetic bees.
Growing synthetic bees.
Synthetic bees that can be that have 5 times the lifespan of the regular bee.
Yeah, it's a polymer ceramic honeybee. It'll last for
call them
8 weeks.
Bees.
Oh, crazy. Well, guys, I'm losing light here, and I have a friend of mine. I think he's got a margarita blender going.
There you go.
No.
So as much as I love all you guys, I sincerely mean that. I'm gonna go get one on the rock.
Mark.
Good for you.
I think he's got a gas-powered one. We'll just. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway,
have fun.
Yeah. God bless, gentlemen. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.
Good night, Mike.
Hey, Todd, I waited too long on the Super Box. Spectrum couldn't come to terms with Disney, and ESPN got shut off right in the middle of the Florida game, 10 minutes in yesterday.
No kidding. Last night?
Yep. All of the sports channels dropped right in the middle of the first week of college football because they didn't come to terms with Disney.
Yeah.
So I imagine today a lot of people have changed from Spectrum. So I should have ordered the Super Box already.
That's not how you treat customers.
Yeah, my friend works for Spectrum out in San Diego, And I called him this morning, and he says, I'm in a meeting. I said, well, tell Disney to get their shit together so we can watch some football. He says, oh, so you already know what the meeting's about. I'm like, I don't even work for the company, but I can imagine what it's about right now. That's it's just crazy. Anyway, that's my sports rant for tonight.
So what do you
be watching them tomorrow?
when everything starts up?
Well, luckily my game is on ABC, and he said that they should have something within the next 10 days. It should be.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Well, that's what I think. Isn't the argument Spectrum doesn't want all that add-on crap that Disney does? They just want the ABC and ESPN.
Well,
and maybe the regular Disney Channel, not all the other crap they force them to buy along with it.
What I was told was their contract expired, and Disney wants a huge increase on money.
Right.
And they don't want to pay it. And or at least not such a drastic increase. He said, because first of all, what do they have to do if they pay that? They've got to pass it on to the customers. Cable's already expensive. So it's not good for the customer either way. But then, they want more money, like some crazy amount. So I don't know.
Who needs Disney anyway? Just cut them completely out.
That's what I heard. I think Disney's gonna sell them off. Someone else will pick up ESPN.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though, that right now that Disney's holding ESPN and ABC hostage.
Part of their them. There's other platforms out there now.
Yeah, but I think you have to have whoever those platforms are have to have a deal with Disney to get those two channels.
What I watch is Big Ten, so I don't know.
My buddy was telling the company line this morning, though. He's like, well, you can go to this channel, you can get a free trial, and then by the time I'm like, I understand. I said, Shadow, you're talking to me. I know what I can do to watch the game. But the other 50 million customers, that's an inconvenience, right? Yeah. They're like, why would I do that? I'm already paying you exorbitant amounts of money. Mm-hmm. So, and that's what he said. He said, well, if we pay them an exorbitant amount, then when the next contract comes up, they're going to want to
ask more. Yeah.
And he's like, it's just, at some point, you got to draw the line in the sand.
Yeah.
So, and what's going to happen is they'll draw the line here, and then the customer will draw the line right next to it and cut them right out and get Direct TV or somebody. So,
or the box.
Yep. Hidden where the wallet is. That will hurt Disney big time.
Well, that box is in my near future, guaranteed.
Well, you need his number again. Let me know.
I got it in the text. It's going to happen. Matter of fact, I was talking to a friend today, so we might order a few of them. I might.
Yeah, that would be ideal because then it's only one shipping charge,
Well, this thing is awesome. Todd, you said it's got 1,700 channels, including pay-per-views and everything. And if you've got high-speed internet, you can totally cut your cable TV bill off.
I don't have cable TV.
I don't either. I don't have it either. Of course, I don't watch network TV anyway. So
if anybody out there that is working with the FCC, I know nothing about what's going on.
Right.
You got smart TV, it already hooks up to everything.
But the key to that thing is high-speed internet. And, you get anything.
But you get, I mean.
A matter of fact, you can hit ESPN and there's.
I'll be back.
It has its own tab. There's probably 20 different channels 20 different games or sporting events that they have going on. You could. Right now, I could turn it on and watch a cricket match in Pakistan if I wanted to.
Wouldn't be able to understand it.
Well, no, actually I would because it goes through Sky Sports, which is UK. It's like the UK version of ESPN.
So when you say high-speed internet, what speed do you need for internet?
Over 300, I think it is.
300 what?
What is it? MPS or whatever the highest thing is.
Second.
300 megabits?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's what I'm getting in my house right. Actually,
I just got an offer from Spectrum today that was 600 megabits per second.
We are absolutely rocking and rolling here at 10.
Yeah.
I get 1 gig right now.
Hold
Yeah,
on, you
right.
said at 10?
I can't do it. I
I
can't.
think
run a
maybe
test
it goes,
with
it bursts
yeah.
to 20, maybe.
Let me
Yeah,
see what my cell phone gets.
See, I could run a test, but then it would knock the internet down for a minute, and I'd lose the connection. But last time I checked, I was getting. Oh shit! Let me see if it's saved on there. I go through Xfinity. Xfinity is the fastest right now, at least. I guess their squirrels are, stronger. I don't know.
More motivated.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what my phone speed test is. I bet you it's higher than.
How can you do that without it knocking you off? Oh, I see what you're doing.
Yeah, you're doing a
Yeah, I
speed
think
test.
mine's about 20, bursting to 30, maybe.
First.
All right, 280. That's on my cell phone.
Go ahead and laugh.
Mike's at 775 right now.
I can't do
We're
a test.
Blistering
Not good.
5 megabytes up.
It takes 12 minutes.
Blistering.
24 down and
up.
24 megabit down and 4.39 up.
Woo!
Wait a minute.
My computer just about got blown off the desk doing that. Data came in so fast.
No, I just had mine replaced because my games were lagging, so I just went to 1 gig.
So I guess Superbox wouldn't work for me.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah,
Well,
it is.
that's what it is on my phone.
Yeah, if I did mine, I'd get cut off.
That 783 is what it was while I'm streaming live right now.
Yeah, that's good right there.
And still, that's kind of capped on the upload right now.
39 up. Oh my god.
Yeah, my upload is the same as my download.
Let's try it again and see if there's a change.
So what is a good speed?
Fast as you can get.
Yeah.
Between 3 to 500.
If you want this thing, you gotta have the fastest you get.
Well, it wouldn't work for me then.
Is that download or
747 down. Yeah, I mean, streaming is usually just download speed, right? You're not uploading anything back, really.
That's right. Nothing of consequence.
Just all your personal data.
That's right. Only your personal
Credit
data.
card numbers.
That's right. Birth date, mother's maiden name, that stuff.
Yeah.
Your second number's pretty slow there on the unload.
39 on the upload.
Yep.
You're on fiber though, I bet, Chris. Eh?
I'm supposed to be on fiber.
Here's the deal: you buy for $250, and that's it. Cut the cord. You know.
Yeah, mine's
nothing.
slow. I'm at 11 up and 138 down. So yeah, mine's crazy.
1100 or 11?
11 megabytes.
11 down and 38 up?
11 up and 138 down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Up is generally a lot slower because you don't upload as nearly as much.
But mine's I've got a pretty old contract, I guess. Whatever you call it.
There you go. DC's got a good one. But
mine's like 57 or something like that.
Mine-
See, everything's wireless here. Like there's no landline systems for that here.
Last time I checked, I was at 11. I think 1100 something.
download?
Yeah.
Well, I'm supposed to have 1 gig service, and I get close to it, but I've never seen 1 gig actually show up on my speed test. But I've always got, like, right now, I mean, live streaming, YouTube running on the other side, right? So I've got Charlie's running over here on a tab.
Well, now I'm very, very, very curious. So I'm going to run a test, which is going to cut me off, and then I'll jump back on and tell you what the results were.
Well, I don't understand how you can be bragging how fast it is, and then it cuts you off. That makes no sense.
No, it runs a test.
No,
through
no,
the- so
you can't be on here and test it.
it shuts the service down, the Wi-Fi service, and then it runs its test, and then it boots back up.
So
Oh,
why
it's
is
your
it-
router.
Yeah.
Why does it do that?
Router. It's the router test. The router's testing it.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Because
I didn't
anything
know-
else is using the data will pollute the test results.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, I just opened a tab up and ran speed tests.
Yeah, but then your test results are your actual results are your test results plus the data that anything else is using, like this stream.
Yeah.
So it's not a really
Plus my wife in there watching Netflix on the other channel, right? On the other-
exactly
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's no telling.
right,
what
and that's
kind
what
of
Todd's
stuff
doing.
is
He's
sucking
not
on
running
over
a
here.
speed test. He's running a test on the router.
Test on the system. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lee put the speed test net on there, so if you wanted to run it.
I'll if I could find it.
Yeah, speedtest.net's pretty. That's what I was using. Pretty good.
Ookla?
I can't find it. But yeah, when I do cut off, if I do find it, then that's the reason why. So
Wow, when I got more than 1 megabit down like a year ago, I was really happy.
all right, I found the red button. So if I disappear, I'll be back
Hi,
in
Todd.
minutes.
Hi, Todd.
Pretty good, Steve.
See,
Hi.
Steve's got,
I have a fresh one in my hand.
He's on
too.
fiber also.
yeah, so
Seeing a few.
Spectrum's working on this mirrored upload download speed thing. So, and that's what Daisy's got right there. Basically the same up and the same down.
I haven't left yet. Oh, it's testing right now.
Shouldn't need a lot of upload though.
Okay,
you know.
so here's where I'm at. I get 1,000. What is it? Megabits per second.
1,000. That's a gigabit.
It's a gig.
And right
You
now
got 1 gig up.
I'm at 1,180.
See, that's what it should be. You should always get a little bit more than you're paying for. I usually get a little bit less all the time.
It was funny. The guy that put my fiber in, he was telling me that he can get me up to 3 gig if I do certain things. And
Sorry. like certain things or
well, to my
You can work this
PC,
out
not to
great.
him, not to him, but to my PC.
And then my upload speed is 23.8.
whew, I wondered where we're going with that. Holy smokes. That was close.
That was hey Brad, wasn't that oh, never mind. I was going to talk about the number you and I are we had in common, and we made a joke about it. We'll leave that there.
Well, it was a callback to that. I think the movie Cable Guy or something where you could pay him under the table and he would give you
all the
more
extra
than you
bills.
actually paid for. So that's what I was kind of thinking. Well, you just kind of grease the cable guy and you get more service. You know,
You want some honey?
he wanted some money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was Ray at your office today,
Brian's
Chris?
on the same wavelength.
Oh, you weren't at your office today, so you wouldn't know.
What's that?
I asked, was Ray at your office again today?
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you.
And then I remembered you were on vacation, so I was like, oh, you would know anyway. Oh, man.
This is just a gap fest. We don't talk bees at all in this anymore.
Oh, they were talking bees. I ruined it for everyone.
It's
You
just a
brought
bunch
up
of people.
oxalic acid vaporization. I felt the need and the compulsion to change the damn topic.
You just wanted to talk mites. that's
I
all.
did bring up the bees in the college though.
Well, you can't. Now it's like you can't even talk about vaporizers without talking about your local hardware store and whether or not they carry the batteries and the 5 amp batteries and the cost of that. And whether, well, you need to carry a generator with you to be able to charge the batteries. Then it feels like you just got a Tesla.
Yeah, I was going to say
A Tesla of oxalic acid vaporization there. And yep, it's great. We only have to take this gas generator. It costs us $1,100 and our $500 batteries out to our out yard to be able to do our 100 colonies at a time.
Well, I'll buy $1,000 generator because I just walked out of the bee supply today with $1,000 with the Apivar. Can you believe that? That's sad.
You know, I was going to bring up a comment earlier.
How many strips did you buy, Brad?
That's about 300 strips.
You know, that stuff, when you open that package, I've smelled it before. To me, it smells exactly like a cat flea collar. Exactly.
Because that's exactly what it is. It's Amatraz.
So we could get flea collars.
Well, I don't know about cat,
$3 a piece.
but I think they use Amatraz in dog tick collars.
Yeah,
Yeah, seriously.
That'd be another off-label use.
Sure. I always wondered if you could tie dog collars around your ankles to keep the wood ticks from crawling up your legs.
It would work.
Well, maybe.
I can envision Brad out with his shorts and he's got dog collars.
My shorts and dog collars on my ankles.
What is that? What is that, Brad? Some sort of.
That's the new design.
I'm a trendsetter. I'm a trendsetter.
What do you call those things? The
home all the beekeepers are doing
bracelets they put on the people that have to stay at home.
Oh,
the
monitor.
The ankle monitor.
Ankle monitor.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So did you go to the city, or was that yesterday, Brad? That you went?
Yeah, I had to go to the city today. Bunch of deliveries, bunch of pickups. They cut me off at Costco. I was cleaning them out of sugar, and they told me I couldn't have any more.
You have to
I'm serious.
Did they put a sign on it that said limit 2 per customer?
Yeah. No, they
Pallets?
just had a sign, you know,
They have the pallet of sugar.
They have the pallet of sugar, and then they have the sign above that tells the price.
Right.
It said the price, and then beside it said Brad can't have any more.
It would really be bad if you pushed your pallet jack in there and hooked up with a pallet of sugar.
Stick the chip and all. They just go. Well,
I actually got stopped and asked me what I needed all the sugar for.
Oh yeah, always getting that.
Usually, I had a guy in a pickup truck last time when I bought some. Now I never buy sugar unless I run out, right? So I bought some the last time in a truck. A guy pulled up. He says, "Hey, I want some of that corn liquor when you're done."
Yeah,
now, I'm a beekeeper.
Damn it, Bob! You beat me to my story because I was going out of Walmart with 30 bags of this because this was the best deal, $2.57 for this 4-pound bag. And the guy catch me in the parking lot. He goes, "Are you making moonshine?" I was like, "Nope, feeding bees." But I should think about that.
Well, here's a story. Here's a story. So I got talking to the guy, the Costco guy, on the way out of the store, and we got talking about, you know, why I can't just pull sugar off the shelf anymore, why I'm cut off. It's not just me; it's everybody, because I was cleaning them out. And
but that's their goal.
He says, yeah. He says, yeah, Ian Stepler was in here the other day. He bought, X number of pounds of sugar or kilograms of sugar. And I said, what are you talking about? Yeah, Ian Stepler was here the other day. He bought a whole bunch of sugar. I said, Ian Stepler doesn't buy sugar. He buys tankers out of Tabor. What are you talking about?
Me in and what are you doing buying my sugar?
Yeah, he said, yeah, Ian Stepler. And I showed him my phone. I said, this guy on Messenger right here, Ian Stepler. Yeah, that's the guy. I texted him right in front of the guy. I said, you buying sugar at Costco? He said, no, I'm buying tankers out of Tabor. I said, there's somebody masquerading as you at Costco. I want to know who that is. He's telling the guy at Costco, yeah, I'm Ian Stepler. You're full of crap.
So here's a question. Can't you just get some from Ian Liquid?
Oh, sure.
Or you just don't care to do that way?
Well, two things. The stuff that Ian gets is fine. But two things. It's more money. The syrup is more money. And I prefer to mix my own because I know what's in that bag. Right? It's pure sucrose in that bag. It's fit for human consumption. It's highly controlled and regulated, and I know what's in the bag. And there have been problems with tanker syrup in the past. And I prefer to use sucrose and not corn syrup or anything like that. So those are just my reasons. And my mixer thing works great.
So what was the problem about the sugar? They ran out, or?
Yeah, they didn't even have any. They didn't have any 20 kg bags, which is what I buy. So I bought a bunch of 10s today. Because
The reason they didn't have the 20s because you bought them the other day.
I bought them last week.
Yeah.
They didn't. I got to the checkout and the girls were saying, there's a limit on that, And I said, what do you mean limit?
Yeah, until I'm finished.
I like what Brian put up there.
And then they asked, they said, good supervisor. Supervisor says, yeah, that's the 20 kg bags is limits on. They don't have any, so you can limit it to 0 and nobody would know any different.
Right.
But anyway, so
Yeah. Well, I was at Kroger one day, and this guy came with his cart full of cantaloupes, and they stopped him and said, we're going to let you buy those, but you can't come back and buy any more. They were on sale, but he had a restaurant, and they said, we don't sell to restaurants. And it's not that they just want to, especially when they run a sale, it's to bring people in. It's not to get rid of it, but they don't want people not to get what they came for, because then they can leave with a bad taste in their mouth. So.
Sure you do. I had store last year. Yeah. I had store last year. They I can't remember the split, but they upped the price on me. I went to buy 3 skids of sugar, and there's some quick math. There's over 2,000 pounds of sugar on a skid. And I went in there, buy 3 skids of sugar. And I had my credit card ready at the checkout, and she says, oh, by the way, that's the price for the first skid. The next skid is, a lot more. And that a lot more amounted to about $1,000. And I looked at her, and my truck was sitting outside with the trailer ready to load. And I said, are you serious? Oh, yeah. It's only the first skid. Really? Are you telling me this? And I'd been talking to her on the phone and lining up, when do you want me to come in? And I came to the store at their convenience when they told me they wanted me to come to the store to get this stuff. And I said, you're telling me this now?
So can you ring it out 3 separate times? One skid, one skid, one skid.
I said,
That's
come back tomorrow. I get the one skid. Oh yeah. Well, guess where I'm never ever buying my sugar again.
Right. Well, I was
just like Lyson, right, Bob? Sorry, Phil.
That's right. I was looking online.
I'm like an elephant. I never forget. I'm sorry, Phil. I want to interrupt you again.
Well, I ran across this store called, I just Googled sugar, and this store called Pop Shelf came up, and they're popping up all over the place over here. And they had sugar for $2 for a 4-pound bag. It hadn't been that cheap in forever. So, and it said the one in Capel where I live said they had 18 bags of it there. I said, shit, I'm going to go buy every bit of it. So I went up there, and I went in the store, and I said, I'm looking for your sugar. He said, we don't sell sugar in this store. Your website says you do, and says you have 18 bags. He said, he just shook his head and said, they do that shit to me all the time.
That's hilarious.
So I figured out if they have it, it says they have like 2 bags in the store. If they don't have it, it says they have 18, because anybody that has 18 doesn't really carry it. So they're just kind of a dirty little trick, or maybe they just don't know. But
well, I think what they do is they put that number in there because like their threshold is 12. And if they've got more than 12, their computer won't auto regenerate an order for that store. So they keep it up there.
But yeah, he said, and he told me, he said, well, the store over in Louisville, he said one of the stores carries it. I know, because I used to work there. And I said, I am not driving there. If I want it, I'll call them and see if they've got it. I'm not driving all the way over there to be told we don't carry it.
So the end of the story is I didn't get the sugar I wanted today, but on the way out through the checkout, I attracted some attention. I wasn't making a scene, but I did attract some attention. And I got to talk to a couple of fellas, and one of the guys,
flea collars on your ankles.
That was the freaking flea collars on my ankles.
I was going to say, did you tell him you were Ian Stepler?
I didn't tell him I was Ian Stepler either. I told him I knew Ian Stepler, but he brought it up. So anyway, this guy working at the store, he's a very senior employee there, and he gave me his business email address. He says, you want sugar? You email me. You tell me what you want and when you want it, and I will place the order, and I will tell you when it's here, and you could show up and have it loaded. And I said, dude, that is exactly what I want. I want to show up with my trailer, and I want to load 3 skids of sugar. Is what I want to do. I don't want to haul it out the front door like I've been doing. So I he went out and loaded the little bags I bought and got in my truck, and I emailed him right there in the parking lot. Said, "This is what I want." So hopefully that'll work really well.
What place was that then? What type
Costco.
of Costco?
Yeah.
Do you have a restaurant store in your area or some type of a wholesale place?
That's probably where everybody buys their stuff.
I mean, there's a thing. It's called the restaurant. It's called the restaurant store. I think it is.
Yeah.
Here, it's
that's where I go.
and it is a $50 membership, but
Okay. Free.
but you can go to it and say on the internet and say, "Oh, I want a trial membership," and you have a membership for a year if you buy $800 or more. Well, that's easy.
Well, in sugar, that's really easy.
Yeah, you know.
Who is that, Charlie?
It's the restaurant store.
Okay, we've got a thing. I think it's out of Oklahoma. It's called the Webstaurant, and they have really good prices, but you have to pay a membership, and it's kind of expensive. Their membership's like, I don't know, $60 a month or something. It's not cheap. But
yeah, ours is U.S. Foods.
Their prices are fantastic on lots of stuff. I mean, just about anything you could think of, any kind of wraps or plastic wraps or any kind of pans or they've got everything. But
yeah, that's what this place does. It's everything that bulk wise when it comes to the area.
Yeah, for me, I found out Walmart for a 25-pound bag is cheaper than the Restaurant Depot and the restaurant.
Sam's Club.
Yeah, usually
Sam's Club.
It's just you can only usually when I go there, I can only find like
5 bags or so, right?
5 to 10 bags max is usually what they've got.
I've got to get.
You usually ask them in the back, pull them out.
The Walmart that's close to me had those bags for $2.57, but everybody else was already at like $3.15 or $3.25 for that bag. So I need to go back and get some more. But they were the only person in the whole area that had them for less than $3 a bag for 4 pounds. And the 25-pound bags are that much now too.
Yeah, ours are $16 for 25 pounds.
Yeah. What's that come now? Like 74 cents or something?
It's 13 and some change, right? It's like 60 something cents, I think.
Yeah, give or take. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm for a 44-pound bag, I'm paying 61 cents a pound.
Canadians.
It's a super good deal. Like that's the only place I win over you guys is I pay less for sugar.
That's really cheap. Yeah,
it is.
So that's about 50 cents a pound, probably, in our U.S. money.
Yeah. Times. 40, 43, 45.
Oh, really? Yeah, that is great.
Yeah, Garrison said that he got some organic cane sugar up in Washington State, 43 cents a pound. He got 400 pounds worth.
Good deal.
Yeah, the best I can do here is.
Best I can do is carry my ass up to Domino. That's the best I can do.
I need to start growing some sugar cane.
You're getting syrup though, right, Bob?
Syrup, yeah.
Up there. You get that's corn syrup though?
No, sucrose.
Oh, it's sucrose?
What I get is sucrose, yeah.
Good. Yeah.
And it's supposedly 2 to 1. It seems thicker than 2 to 1.
It looks thicker, yeah.
And it's $10 a 5-gallon pail. So when I split it in half and fill it up with water, it ends up being $1 a gallon for 1 to 1.
$10 for a 5-gallon pail. Oh, so 3.58.
Here comes the metric conversion, y'all.
times 5 gallon pail, 17.9.
By the way, my best is 71 cents a pound.
And so that's times $10. $10, you said?
Yep.
Yeah.
Holy smokes, that's cheap.
Yeah, but Todd, 10 cents of yours, Todd, goes to Gavin Newsom's presidential run.
Comrade Newsom.
There's over $1,000 worth of sugar in my tote, and that tote would cost $558.
30 bags.
Yep.
1,000.
But it costs $5.50 for a tote full, and the $5.50 can be split in half, right? So you get 550 gallons for $550 of 1-to-1, or very close to 1-to-1.
Okay, yeah.
When
I'm
you
talking
split it.
2-to-1, but yeah.
So
it's the same thing. You're just not paying for the water.
right.
The extra water. That's really cheap, buddy. Boy, I wish I could buy that. Holy smokes. That would be $1,500 a year for sugar.
You hear it,
instead of
Mark Miller?
4,000.
We need to rent us a tanker and start exporting sugar syrup up to Canada this time of year.
I think there's a pipeline. I think there's a pipeline they're not using. You could probably put it in
A
that.
sugar syrup pipeline. Yeah.
Get a big long hose.
Don't let the regime know about it. They'll cut that off too.
So in
They're like, shit, this damn thing's sloping the wrong way, guys. We gotta...
So this time of year, we pump sugar syrup up, and in this late after that's done, they can pump maple syrup back. Right?
There you go.
Mark's running a hot knife class at 9 a.m. at his place.
You got a learning yard going on with the hot knife. If anybody wants to come,
you don't need
check it out.
You don't need to teach a hot knife class. You need to teach a how to pull honey supers class.
I need
Like
a hot knife. Because I
Just
already
make it
offered a hot knife to Bob because I can't use it. It burns the shit out of the honey.
A full extraction. Just put a full extraction
Yeah.
course.
Hey, Texas.
What's up, Blaine?
And then the beauty of it is you can charge everybody $25 a piece for the course. And there's limited space, so you got to come now.
I say, Brad, you could talk Mark into backing up a tanker right up there against the fence, and he could throw a big hose over the fence there, and you can just, pump it out of his truck on your side.
Hey, Mark, when those people show up to help you with that hot knife, you need to go ahead and get them to whitewash your fence there.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't Pity Pat needs their fence whitewashed.
That's awesome.
I have a question. If any Canadians know, okay, there's one Canadian on the board. When I get inspected to sell nukes, do I make nukes before or after I'm inspected, or does it matter?
Well, that's provincial jurisdiction, so it depends on who your provincial inspectors are. But I don't think it matters. They're just going to inspect your operation and see if they find disease. But I don't know. I don't know what province you're in. Maybe I should know. Where's Shane?
I'm thinking he's over near. Is he? I think he's near Ontario.
Ontario's got some different rules, but you got to call them. You got to call your provincial inspection outfit because that's a provincial jurisdiction. It's not federal.
Yeah, the sugar that I'm looking at is 33 or 66 cents a pound.
Wow.
So
The same sugar pre-COVID was 50 cents a pound.
yeah.
Oh,
Well,
absolutely.
It was
even all the way through COVID, it was 50 cents a pound.
I was paying $20 a bag. That's $1 a kg. So, well under 50 cents. And now I'm paying $27 a bag.
During COVID, I got sugar at Kroger for $12 for a 25-pound bag.
I used to, a couple years ago, I was buying 25-pound bags for $8 at Walmart.
Yeah. So Blaine at Texas Beekeeper had a burning question. Does everybody procrastinate until the night before getting ready for market? No, Blaine, I procrastinate until an hour before market.
Because you're no.
Nothing like waiting till the last minute to get the adrenaline.
That's one thing I hate about markets, because I was not the procrastinator. I would spend the entire previous day getting ready for that damn market. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Getting ready for the lovely market.
I just sell my stuff to the market people, and they sell it for me.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing now.
Well, I like the gray area. I stay in the gray zone. However, technically, that's illegal by South Carolina law without having a full inspection of your processing facility, sir.
Yeah, I've got market tomorrow morning. I actually did stick some stuff by the front door tonight. And then I said, oh, you know what? I'd rather be on Charlie's Beach Chat than to continue to get this stuff ready to go.
And you're right, Bob. It isn't allowed here either, technically. So that's why I am inspected and do it by the book, and I'm allowed to do that.
Now, because you send your stuff to are you considered a honey packer, or you send it to a packer, right? Who is inspected?
I use an inspected packer,
which allows you to bypass that situation.
Correct.
Gotcha. See, I need to be that guy. That's the guy I need to be.
The packer.
Oh
yeah. Here. Yeah, do co-packing for sure.
If they can throw up these little damn coffee shops, those little drive-through that look like the Kodak, remember the Kodak Institute used to go to? They're putting those things up everywhere now.
What? Brad, you
Tim's Coffee House.
Yeah.
Brad, you brought up something that I've always wondered about, because you go by the packer to pick up is that because of regulation, or is that just because it's a good deal for you, or why do you do that?
Well, I like it that I don't have to bother doing it. That's part of my outsourcing strategy, but it's required for me to be able to sell retail.
Right. You don't have to have the facilities and all that stuff.
That's exactly it. And because I'm selling a limited amount of honey dollar-wise, or I shouldn't even say honey, food product dollar-wise. Right. And because I'm not shipping outside of my home province of Manitoba, then that allows me to do that by using the federally inspected packer to get that into stores on store shelves.
Yeah, it makes sense.
James has my AC's not working dinger going over there.
Yeah. No, that's not the dinger. It went out. So that dinger never stops.
That was his seatbelt.
No, that was Alan's seatbelt, not my seatbelt.
Oh.
So what you got going on, James and Alan, since you're now Alan?
We're going to feed bees and do oxalic acid treatments. So we're going to hit the lake apiary here tonight. So
it just perplexes me every time I'm on at 10 minutes to 10 and it's like jet black outside and I see this bright shining sun in the back.
Yeah.
It looks like 7 a.m.
It's the golden 3 hours.
Well, it's amazing how much, you get home from work, you have a quick bite to eat, you have some supper, get things all lined up, and then we're going to have, it's usually
bedtime for me
here by about 9:30 now. So, you got about 2.5 hours, you can get something done.
Oh,
that's amazing. That is incredible.
What time does the sun come up, though?
Noon.
Well,
stays up too late, sleeps in.
Well, I'm at work by about 6:30, 7 o'clock, and it's up by the time I'm driving to work.
Yeah. It's some long days there. It'll be like 3 hours.
Not as early these days, but certainly earlier in the summer. It's very early.
Yeah. What are we losing right now, Brad? Like 5 or 6 minutes a day?
Oh, a few minutes a day for sure.
It's not summer. Shit, why is it 98 today?
It's warm here. It's 23 degrees Celsius here again today. So that was 2 days ago, I think we hit 32 degrees Celsius. So
Oh, that is warm.
We got up
James
to 83 today, and I was like, man, this is great. It's like 20 degrees cooler than it was last week.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And no humidity. How about?
Yeah.
You
man,
said
I've
you're
had the
you're
window
north of
down,
40,
arm out.
54, right, James? You're north of 54, right?
50, no, I'm north of 55.
You're north of 55. See, you're way north of me, though. I'm about 50, and so I mean, the sun would come up around solstice. The sun would come up by 3:30, probably 3 o'clock in the morning in your area.
Oh yeah, it's around the solstice. I mean, you could easily sit outside and read a newspaper all night long. It wouldn't bother you at all.
Yeah, I can see the glow all night in the north, even here, and I'm not very far north.
You know your country's big when you start judging where you're at by longitude and latitude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're like,
Parallel lines,
we're
right?
about-
It's like
yeah, we're 30 or 32 here, so I don't know.
Well, you're talking latitude. It all lines up for how long it stays light, right? I met a guy from Ecuador. He was touring here in Winnipeg one time. It was years ago, and it was like 10:30 at night, and we're standing around the garden party, and it was broad daylight. And he's looking around, and he's saying, "Does the sun ever go down here?" He says. So I got talking. He said in Ecuador, he said when it's light we work, and when it's dark we sleep. He said we'd get no sleep if we lived here.
I've actually been to Ecuador.
3 or 4 hours.
That's about right.
Alan just looked it up. So the sun rises at 7:01 and sunset is 8:49. So 7:01 to 8:49 right now. That's
Wow.
today.
Yeah, I took a trip. I went canoeing. I started in northern Minnesota, but I went into Canada, and I'd been told by somebody that had been. He said, "Yeah, as soon as the sun goes down, the mosquitoes get so bad you have to go get in your tent and go to bed."
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, okay, I'll be in bed by like 8:30. I didn't realize it was like 10 o'clock at night before I got
It's like you better be in bed by 11.
like, shit.
Yeah.
It's late.
I did a time lapse on my outdoor camera one night last summer. It's on my channel. You can see it watches the sun go down and then the sun come up, and it shows the time.
Did it just
Then
go?
it happens. Yeah, it was only down for about 3 hours, and then you see it come up again.
That's cool.
In other words, your bees live about 21 days. Your bees wouldn't be any good for that bomb sniffing technology.
That's right, Alex. You get in that. You do that for a business. I'll tell you, you will make a lot of money. You will sell stuff fast. Flavored honey is absolutely the key right now.
Is that hard to, far as health, whatever, the health department or whatever for him, to be able to do that and sell it?
Well, depends on how he wants to sell it. Or want to sell it direct? Easy peasy.
Yeah.
Right? If you want to sell it on store shelves, then it's a little different.
He sold 24 bottles today.
But you start selling it direct. Like you
I mean,
just
that's
doing this direct.
that's like Robert was in here last night, and he's talking about buying a 5-gallon pail for what, $2.50 a pound or something like that.
No, it was $215 for 5 gallons.
5 gallon.
60 pounds.
Yeah, but I think he's in the same situation. It's like, well, why do all this other work when he can be a packer and just sell it?
Yeah.
Well, what do you think Bob Binney does?
Yeah.
You see all the honey he pulls in there.
Oh yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
That's what I was trying to do at my daughter's tea shop. But that fell through. The beekeeper came back.
He came and filled it up.
He came out of nowhere and fixed the situation. So
You walked in. I took when Frank was here with Galloway Lights. We went down to the grocery store down here, and I showed him the local honey that they have in there, and they have some cut or chunk honey in jars, and it's solid. You can see the comb through the end of it, but it's crystallized all the way around it, where they didn't keep it. And it's right in the produce section, which is probably one of the cooler spots in the store. So, yeah, that stuff's not going to sell sitting there,
No.
Not looking like that. It'd be worth it to have some sort of warming plate, like even if it's a grow mat or something, right, on the bottom that's warm on your display, so you're sitting your jars on it, where it's just kind of regulating the temperature of that display in the grocery store. I would think if you're going to put that kind of thing up. My average sold price per ounce is $1.82. Blaine says that doesn't account for the container costs.
$1.82 a pound.
Shit.
Ounce.
An ounce.
That's a lot.
Oh,
Wow.
I wish.
Dang. I'm about to talk to you, Blaine. That's even higher than I sell it for.
How do I do that?
Me too.
I sell it
Ship it
for
down to us.
I get about 90 cents an ounce, but that's like half of that, right?
You can ship your honey down to me, even if I sold it at $10 US a pound, and we could split the profit.
That's
As long as
$29 a pound.
Wowzers.
I'd take $29 a pound Canadian if I could get
Hey,
that.
That's like $4
Yeah,
Hey,
US.
Alex. Well,
Well,
yeah.
Brad,
If one more person would come into the chat, I could be Alice.
Alice.
There you go.
Brad, I
Of course, the right side has to be the guys.
Alex, yes.
I don't know what you did.
Sorry,
What you
sorry,
did
Alex.
for your
It's
what
kind
you
of
did for
rapid
your
fire
internet
here right
service,
now.
Chris,
Sorry,
I
you're
don't
getting
know.
talked over. Alex has got something he needs to tell us.
Go ahead.
I wanted to thank you for the suggestion for the cream dirty. I made 30 pots. I have 6 left.
Good for you.
Good
You
job.
keep doing that, man. You know what? Keep experimenting with getting your recipes better and better, and keep doing different recipes and different flavors. And don't overlook things like lemon honey and cinnamon honey, because they're super easy and they're the most popular flavors.
Cinnamon.
will-
I made, like I said, I made 5 flavors: cinnamon, cacao, habanero,
Yeah.
strawberry, blueberries, and cinnamon and strawberries disappeared almost immediately.
Sold out in cinnamon first, right? Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know,
cinnamon
man.
first. Cinnamon first.
Now,
then
Alex,
strawberry.
Flower Street Honey, that's exactly what he does on his
Yep.
his fairs and stuff that he goes to.
Yep.
He does a huge amount of creamed honey that's flavored.
Yeah, maple syrup. Norm says maple syrup. My packer guy. That's how he makes his living. He does the best flavored honeys in the land, and he does a maple syrup honey.
Maple honey tastes like maple syrup.
Well, you know what? It doesn't matter if it sells. That's what you sell to them.
Exactly.
Exactly. You know what? Cinnamon honey. You take creamed honey, you stir in some cinnamon, you get cinnamon honey. You do it for them, you can double and triple the price.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna need a bigger hardware than a drill.
Yeah.
How big are your containers, Alex, and how much do
They
you
were
charge?
250 mils, so about this big.
That's half a pound.
Half a pound. How much Canadian?
$10 Canadian.
Wow.
And they sold like that.
Nice.
Is that,
See, I
what's
sell
that?
375s, Alex, at like this my packer guy. I just take his product and I resell it to stores, and they sell it on the shelf for $10 for 375s.
So yeah, 250 for $10 for me.
Yeah.
And they
Yep.
disappeared.
Yep.
The
No.
least favorite. The
Then-
least
Now, if
liked
that was
were the,
regular honey,
blueberries and
if that was just regular
Are you-
running honey, how much would
You know-
that sell for there?
Well,
That same size.
let's back up a second. So $10 Canadian is $7.37. That kind of. Oh, that's right. It's 8-ounce jar, right?
And 500 grams is a little more than a pound, but you know,
Okay.
200 like
I was thinking a pound jar for.
Yeah, but now $10 Canadian, that's actually like about $12 American, isn't it?
No,
way around.
$7.37.
$7 American.
Yeah. Right now, I
It's-
was
it's a
laughing
really
at our
small
exchange rate because our exchange rate was 73.62
Yeah.
today. So for every dollar Canadian, we only get 73 cents US.
So Morgan asked me,
Yeah, that's down.
am I
That's
getting
down a
my
little
own
bit.
honey from the packer? Absolutely. The honey that's packed into my jars is my honey. Absolutely, 100%, no questions asked. The flavored honeys that I buy from him to resell to stores, that's his honey. It's not my honey. I don't flavor my honey. We have agreed earlier on that it would be an absolute abomination to flavor my honey because it's such premium clover and wildflower honey that there's no way that you should ever put any flavor in that honey.
Yeah, same for basswood. You shouldn't flavor that.
Yeah, just use a standard canola honey. It flavors well. It's mild enough that it doesn't cover up your flavors, and you're not wasting a nice premium honey doing it.
Yeah. And Alex, how long did it take you to produce this?
About 40 minutes of mixing per batch, and there were 5 batches. And I couldn't make more than about this deep because what I used is a battery powered drill with a blender, not a blender, but a mixer attachment.
Yeah.
Rubber bands to keep the speed constant. Hold the drill on both hands and just gently stir 20 minutes at a time, 80 minutes total.
So you did this for over several days, or?
Yes. Oh, yes. I did 2 batch per days.
Yeah, see there, Brian or App Flower Seed. That's his forte.
Yeah.
He's got his own recipes. So what is it? I think it's a chocolate type of recipe, and
making apple spice cinnamon right now.
So, Alex, here's another recipe you can experiment with: is honey butter, 1-to-1-to-1, honey, butter, and icing sugar. And yeah, you're putting sugar in the honey, but you need to put the icing sugar in to dry it to make it set up so that it's not too runny.
I think you mentioned it before.
Yeah, that stuff is absolute magic, and it's expensive to make because butter is very expensive. So you're going to have to adjust your prices.
So this is real cow butter versus margarine, right?
Unsalted butter.
Yes,
too.
butter.
Unsalted butter.
Yeah, I've never bothered to. I've never bothered to use an unsalted. I don't know why. Why would you have to use unsalted, James? Do you know?
I find the salted versus the unsalted. The salted butter seems to separate quicker. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because of the salt content, but you'll find the salted stuff will separate in about 3 months.
3 months. Mine gets eaten in about a week, so I noticed. so you can take that for what it's worth. You probably want to use unsalted butter than in that. I never have unsalted butter now, so I just use regular. But there's another, and you can then also you can add cinnamon to that. Make cinnamon honey butter, and that's a magical thing to put on toast. So you have to. I can't remember how much cinnamon you put in a one pound of butter, 1 pound of honey, 1 pound of icing sugar. I don't know. I don't remember how much cinnamon you put in that.
It depends what cinnamon you use too. So if you use saffron cinnamon, you need to use a little bit more.
Does that have to be refrigerated?
I would have refrigerated it. Yeah.
Okay, we can't do that here because we can't use the cottage food law if it has
you're right. You're right, Philip. Now, if he's selling direct, he can probably do it. If he's selling at a farmer's market, see, it's a provincial regulation. I can't even say.
Yeah.
Because I'm a different province, so I can't say.
Yeah, I know for sure we can. If it has to be refrigerated, we can't do it.
I make it sometimes and I give it to people I like, because they really love it. So
you give it to like 5 people that you really like in the whole world and everybody else can piss off?
It's actually been one.
One? That's why I haven't gotten mine yet.
It's too expensive to make for.
Well, yeah, it was really boring to make because having the drill in your hand, just like staring at a drill for 20 minutes, hearing the buzz.
But that's what you do. You keep doing it. You tough it out. You do it the hard way, and then you sell enough that you got enough money. Then you buy yourself a really nice mixer.
I made enough money to buy a cake mixer.
Bingo.
In one day.
Perfect. Now you move ahead, and that's exactly
And-
how you do that. You keep
And
moving
did you
ahead
buy-
every step.
Did you buy the cake mixer, Alex, or did you put the money in the pocket?
I didn't use the money yet,
There you
so
go.
I
That's how
tried.
it's done, my friend. That's how it's done. You're on the way. You're starting this. This is great.
I tried to make that creamed honey like that, and I accidentally pulled my drill. I didn't accidentally. I got curious to see what was going on. I pulled the drill up, and honey just slung all over the damn.
Yes, icing sugar is confectioner sugar. It's the same thing.
So
Yeah,
how's your harvest doing so far, Brad?
I hesitate to give you numbers, but I would just say very good. The
Perfect.
yield seems to be good, average or maybe slightly above.
Perfect.
I've got the entire home yard pulled, and hopefully tomorrow we can set escapes at the out yard.
Nice.
And hopefully there I should get 2 boxes off each hive at the out yard. I'm thinking.
Well, that's pretty good considering they were 6 framers when we put them out there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, they did really well. I'm very
Excellent.
pleased. Very pleased.
Excellent.
So, yeah. So hopefully I'll have that pulled by mid next week, and it'll be in the honey house. And then it'll just be, feeding, treating, extracting.
That's where we're at. That's our cycle here right now.
I did get a little feeding done yesterday. A little bit of feeding done yesterday.
I gotta get a bunch of extracting done this weekend here. So I got an order for. Well, originally they just wanted 2 45-gallon drums, but when she came by and she tasted the honey, she took an additional 60 gallons. So, so that worked out rather well. So that'll be 3 45-gallon drums for her here right away, and she wants 2 more about the end of November. So,
I just got 2 weeks ago, I got a 500-pound order I need to fill yet, so I need to get on that.
it's kind of nice because I was, Alan and I were talking, and with all the honey and stuff we got this year, we were thinking we were going to have to go to the Bee Made over to the co-op, but they're not reviewing my application now until October, and that actually might work out in my favor because by then I might have all my honey gone.
Yeah. Review it for 24.
what kind of surprised me was chocolate was not that popular. Cacao honey didn't sell very well compared to the other ones.
Make
same
a,
for,
Alex, I'll just say this: make a s'more out of it. Make it, put bananas in it.
I got only
a sandwich.
Yes.
Try that.
yeah, and blueberry was even less popular than the cacao for some. So
I
I
think
know
you
what to make and not to make.
I think if you make 10 flavors, Alex, you should make 3/4 of your honey should be cinnamon, because everybody buys cinnamon honey.
I think you found your niche, Alex.
Yeah, for now, probably yes. And I told
Yeah, but
everyone
what
that
I'm getting at is here's your opportunity. Buy canola honey in a 5-gallon bucket. In the meantime, grow your hives and stuff like that. You get your apiary bigger and bigger. But then you're selling this here cream flavored honey, and you got money coming in to invest into your beekeeping business.
But I want to try and sell bees too, kind of like what James did. I know it's too late for me to sell nukes next spring unless I can get very early queens. But next year, I think I'm gonna focus on making as many nukes as I can safely maintain.
Do you have a market for it? Because right now you've got a market in creamed honey. I think you should go where you're fitting in.
Yeah, but diversifying. I don't have to go hold like 100 nukes like James did, but I gotta try it. At least try it.
Well,
Of course.
absolutely right. You need to diversify, but give it a couple years before you do that. Get your customers going on creamed honey, and you've got a backing, and then you can move up to doing queen or nuke or whatever you like.
Because
Do you have a bee supply store or something like that there, Alex?
oh yes, there's several bee supply stores nearby.
So go and talk to them. Make sure you
You're
talk
breaking
to
up,
them
James.
ahead of time and find those. Oh, I was going to say, find those sales for those nukes now. Go talk to them. Don't guarantee any number of nukes, but just make those contacts now.
Yeah, but I probably won't have them for next spring. It's going to be the year after. Because
Oh,
right
I
now
know.
it's way too
Just
late.
start making the contacts. It's all about networking. It's all about making those connections and building those relationships. You know, that's required long before you want to start start having the nukes to sell. So
Yeah,
first you
James
want
is
to
right. It's not about who you know, it's who knows you.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And it's all networking. Honestly, I worked at marketing my business for the first 3 years or so that I ran the business. I haven't been able to market it since because everything flies out the door.
I think you market every day, Brad. And once you get that market, the best market you can have is word of mouth. So you get those few customers.
Absolutely.
That's what I asked.
They will market it for you.
I asked for word of mouth for the free samples because, of course, I made free samples with wooden spoons, and I asked, you don't have to buy it. There's no pressure to buy, but a lot of pressure to try it. I got that from another that joined the stream.
Philip, right there.
Yeah. So I used that line, and most people, even those that didn't try, I asked them, could you just please pass the word what you thought of it? That's the cost of the free sample.
Good. Keep doing that.
And then,
keep doing that stuff.
Like I said, make sure you keep your product quality high, and make sure that you look after your customers.
Yep.
So you're better to have one less customer and look after them really, really well than have 4 customers that you look after mediocre. Because if you think good marketing is hard to come by, you're right. But hard reputation and hard marketing, that's going to go against you. Everybody's more than willing to give that for free.
Yep. It's always the one that has a bad experience that's willing to drop that comment in the comment box, right?
Word of mouth.
Since I don't have business cards, I did have extra labels, and since I have to put my contact info in this, somebody asked for how to contact me because I was out of cinnamon honey. I just I have extra labels. You can have this.
Perfect.
This was in the bottom.
Perfect. Yeah. And get those, by the way. There is nothing more powerful for the dollar than a business card. You can get them so cheap, and there's nothing more powerful for a dollar than a business card. So make sure you get a box of those right away as soon as you can. And it doesn't have to be fancy. They don't care if it's fancy. Just make sure the relevant information is on there and you've got it in your pocket and ready to hand it out at any time.
Staples. You can even get them at Staples to print off in your printer, Alex.
Anybody. Yeah. Vistaprint, Staples, whoever you want. Just get them.
I ordered labels from Vistaprint. I could probably design a simple card.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But yeah, creamed honey, it flies. Like I sold 8 bottles of regular honey.
Yeah.
And 24 bottles of creamed honey. And it's almost twice the cost for the creamed honey for the.
But it's not twice the cost to you, right?
The cost is not much. It's pretty low. It's a bit of fruit or cinnamon powder, and the time to mix it.
That's the thing. It's a bit of cinnamon, and you mix it up, and you could double the price. It's awesome.
So where did you sell it at, Alex?
It was an office barbecue. Because since COVID, we started all working from home. So they're closing down. Well, this office is going to get closed down for next year, but irrelevant. Sorry. But every year, that place has a barbecue for all the employees. I decided that might be a good idea to bring creamed honey.
Good
So
idea.
I took the whole week to make the 5 batches and brought them, and it almost completely sold out. I have some leftovers, and tomorrow there's like a corn barbecue, you boil some corn, like the whole family's coming. So I'm gonna pack. I bought another
barbecue. That's where you need the honey butter, man.
Honey butter.
Honey butter on your corn. You might laugh, but you should try it.
I should try and make. I'll have time tomorrow morning to make some.
Do it.
Great thing is, it doesn't have to set up like creamed honey. It's ready to use as soon as you mix it up.
I'll need
Because it's the butter and the icing sugar that sets it up.
So I guess my question with creamed honey is how is it feasible if you're gonna do a bunch of creamed honey to keep it right at 58 degrees or something once you?
No, it's liquid or soft, and then you put it in a refrigerator to make it hard.
You don't need to keep it perpetually at that temperature, only for a period of time, which is maybe a week,
till
maybe 10 days. Yeah, because when you set it in there, you seed it with the crystals, and then the crystals propagate through the liquid honey and set the rest of the liquid honey as creamed honey as the crystals are. So once that process is done, it's set. And then you can store it at room temperature, you could freeze it, whatever you want. That's one of the few things that I like about winter, is I leave all my honey in the truck and it'll freeze solid and it's all good. No problem. Summer, I can't leave my creamed honey in the truck. It gets too hot.
All right, here's Laura. I haven't seen. Good to see you, Laura.
Shouldn't you be able to add a bit of creamed honey seed to regular honey and then let it spread in the regular honey? Or do you have to mix entire batches?
Well, that's essentially exactly what you're doing. You can make it in a batch or you can make it in the container. But there's also then that period of time afterwards that the crystals need to propagate through the liquid honey, and that takes time. It takes you about a week to 10 days for that to complete.
10 to 1 ratio?
10%, yeah.
So 9 to 1, 10 to 1, whatever.
Well, whatever.
I use 10%, like
10 parts honey, 1 part the seed.
Yeah.
Hard to keep.
It doesn't matter. It's not critical. It's not a critical ratio.
Well, it sounds pretty. I don't know if you heard me, Phil, but I used your line. Sorry if I stole it.
What's that?
No pressure to buy, but lots of pressure to try.
Yes, that's a
I
good
use
one.
that, and it works. I mean, what are they going to lose? It's free.
Exactly. Yeah. Use it.
Well, it's just open in dialogue, right? That's all it's doing, is giving you a way to talk about something they probably weren't going to try.
Yeah.
Right. Have you ever tried hot honey? No. Oh, well, you got to try this.
Yeah.
I had a few people that went from the hot honey, and it wasn't that hot. It was slightly stronger.
Alex, I can see a spark in your face right now that I haven't seen, I think, before. You've got the bug of marketing this stuff now. That is the most. I mean, is just the most fun part about selling honey is the marketing part. To see the look on people's face. You say a certain thing, or you say the wrong thing, and you see a look that you don't like. You say the right thing. I also had a few
people. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I also had a few people like unconsciously chewing at the wooden spoon.
So
from the taste of honey.
Yeah, one of the things I encounter when you're at the market is you'll have the family come up, and of course the kids. I always make sure I involve the kids, even if they can reach up to grab the little wooden spoon.
Well, the kids is sell the honey.
Yeah,
the kid wants it; they're going to buy honey.
But a lot of times there's like a grandparent or a husband or something sort of hanging back, going, no, I don't want to try it. I don't want to try it, and then the others start trying it and reacting to it. And I usually I stop everything and say, come on in. The conversation we have about this is just as much as, you trying it. And almost all the time I can bring them into it, and they become like the person that's the most vocal about tasting the honey, is the person that was hanging back, not wanting to try it. So yeah, it's a lot of fun when you get them tasting your honey.
My favorite fun line with the young people, I'll see a couple of young people, maybe 2 or 3 young people walking them, and they're kind of hanging back. They're not getting too close to the table. And I'll say, come and try a free sample of honey. Oh, and they're kind of hesitant. And and I say, come and try it. All the cool kids are doing it, and that'll get them to come right over. Right.
So I like to get the couple in there. And one of the first things I tell them is I go, this usually causes an argument, right? Because there's a couple of different kinds.
It's kind of fun seeing their reaction, especially those that like, I'm not sure. Well, dude, what do you have to lose? It's
amazing
exactly.
when someone tries
and they go
local honey at my truck. They all sit there and it's like they taste it and they go, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm like, but it's different than what you get in the store, right? And they're like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then
I have to, seriously, with my, and I'm dead serious. This has happened a number of times when I take my clover and wildflower honey to a store or something, and somebody will say, okay, well, I'll buy your honey to put on the shelf, but I use my buddy's honey or something, I say, that's fine. It's not a problem. But I say to them, after you try my honey, can you apologize to your friend for me? And they say, well, why? Well, because you won't be buying their honey anymore. And they laugh at me. But then I go back and they say, yeah, I tried your honey. I can't buy my buddy's honey anymore because it's true. And it's not just a joke. It's funny, but it's not just a joke. It's absolutely true. They switch. And so I asked them to apologize to their friend because you're not going to buy their honey anymore because it's a different honey. It's not just a regular everyday.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of saddens me that I only have one that I know of, only one basswood tree, because having a small grove of those, that would sell well.
There's probably more within the 2-mile radius of that one. It doesn't. I mean, just by nature, right? You would think that it would seed and there would be trees around.
Well, and there's gold in limited production too. Don't forget.
Yeah, supply.
Get those people, and you know what, Alex? You remember when I was young, and this goes back to the late 1800s. But when I was young,
back when Charlie was a teenager.
Yeah, back when Charlie when Charlie retired, we would buy fruit in season, and my mother would can it for use during the winter, because you didn't get whatever fruit you wanted at any time of the year. You got the fruit in season.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was the gold, right? So you can capitalize on that kind of thing and say, okay, and tell all of your faithful customers, you say, the basswood will be in the jar by whatever, the 10th of September or the 5th of September or Labor Day or whatever you say, and they will be at your door. When they're loyal basswood customers, they will be at your door. You will sell it in a week, right? And you will sell it for just about anything you want for it.
Yeah.
It's still that really good minty taste. I love it.
So you need to find a couple buckets of basswood.
Hey, Alex, when you sell that, do they have your contact information so they can get back with you?
Yeah, it's on the label.
Yeah, because I'm finding that at the market they all want the little small jars, but then all of a sudden, like 2 weeks later, yeah, we ate all that. We want the big jar now.
And if you still have honey around Christmas time, put it in the smaller jars, and you can charge a premium for that too. Now you have to charge a premium because it's more work for the smaller jar, but
right,
you can. I was just going to say, I wasn't sure what was going on there, but you can sell it for an absolute premium.
The gift sizes.
Yep.
So, to give you an example, I mean, this is like my Facebook post, right, on my Lower Russian Community Facebook page of my truck here. My new truck, you see it's a new picture. It's my new truck with the honey on it from last weekend. And people start asking, what's your hours? And then what I really like is when people start commenting, like the absolute best. Went there early, definitely good, and we'll be back. You know, Mark, and this is my friend Mark here that I go and help him with his bees, right? The one I had his surgery, and someone's telling him it's definitely a good product, right? You love your honey.
That's gold.
Terrific honey and
Thanks,
local.
Steve.
So go get me some. I'll cash app you, right? So they're talking about my product, and I'm not doing anything. I just put a post up there saying, "Hey, good morning, everybody. I hope the day is great. We are selling honey and have a bunch. Come over and get it." And that's it. And then
Cool.
they post it in the local group, right? And then once your customers start coming to get it, they do the marketing for you on there.
Doug.
Hey, Doug.
Hey, Doug.
Hey, man.
I was just going to tell you, a real good marketing tool is to use Facebook.
Yeah, agreed.
Especially look for the groups, Alex, or everybody actually. Look for the groups for your local area. Like if your town or you got a, like you use Capel, right, all the time. Capel probably has a Capel community or Capel Facebook group.
Yeah.
I mean, post that in that group, right? It's people that are right in that area. And yeah, it'll take them a while to start seeing it, but you'll start getting some interaction. And then all of a sudden, you know, you can just back your truck up to the front there and go work your hives, and people stop and buy your honey from you. And I think they think it's cool that they're coming right to the apiary to buy it.
See,
You
how
know,
would
it's
that
kind
work
of a
for me?
novel.
I'd have to say, I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
this
over the
apiary selling,
go ahead.
that apiary, I was going to say, I'd have to give them the GPS location for the apiary at, I don't know, from 8 a.m. till 11 a.m. and then from 12 to 2, and then they'd be chasing me around the countryside.
Yeah, you'd have to give them your latitude and longitude.
It's kind of the same for me.
Parallel.
Yeah.
It just seems weird sharing my position or sharing my location with everybody on Facebook.
I think you're gonna have to James send Leah to one spot somewhere during the week
in her unicorn
with a whole bunch of cases of your honey.
Just look for the unicorn for a special price on honey today. It's like the old Kmart blue light special, right?
There you go. She's probably listening, and I'm gonna get my ass kicked when I get home.
Hey, what else is new? Okay.
Yeah, well,
so just some context, Bob. When you talk about GPS, navigation, GPS and stuff. Well, we use the same terms, but in Canada, it's actually a sextant. Where we look, you look at the horizon and the sun. Stars. Yeah, that's how we do it. So just so you know,
we still use those in the U.S. Navy. They do have the computers, but they still use that just in case the computers go down, right?
Well, sure.
So
I've studied that a little bit. It's a very, very interesting art.
But I mean, there are ways to get it out there. I don't go to markets. I mean, because I'm working all week, and I have to work my bees on the weekend. I just don't have the time to dedicate to go sit at the market, right? And then my wife would be pissed because I'm gone all day on the only days that I'm home. Which she's already that way. Oh, you got to go get sugar this weekend, huh? What is it next week? A cutout? What is it? What is the weekend after that? You're moving bees out here or going to do this.
Yeah. Hey, I'm just glad my market's only
I'm
4 hours.
gonna make a prediction.
Or 6, I guess, if you count setup.
I'm gonna make a prediction that Bob will be going to markets next year because he's gonna have too much honey to sell just off his tailgate.
That's what forced me there.
I got too much honey to sell off my tailgates now, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got them. Well, and guys, for you, I understand it's nowhere near the quantity you guys pull in Canada. But for me, it's more than I've ever pulled. And I came in with a bad situation into the spring. I thought it was terrible. I don't think I'm in a great situation right now in my apiary. However, it's still, if I lost 20% of my colonies going before winter, I would still be double what I came out in spring. So I'm just playing the numbers. grow a lot, some die off, I'm double. Grow a lot, some die off, I'm double. So
It's percentages.
yeah, that's
Yep.
it.
Percentages.
Yep.
And don't
Have you
you don't
decided?
need to qualify amounts of honey, quantities of honey either. You don't need to do that. It's everybody works with what they have. That's not what whenever you say, "Oh, I harvested 500 pounds of honey," I'm not sitting here thinking, "Well,
Yes, you are. Don't lie. I know
is
you.
that all?" No, I'm absolutely not.
I did that on 2 hives.
I-
You got 50. What's going on down there?
I'm absolutely not.
Yeah.
I know. Doug's harvest is way bigger than mine per colony for sure. But it's a different situation and whatnot. So I mean, everybody respects everybody else's harvest. So yeah, don't feel like you need to qualify that. I just want to say.
But that kind of ties back into the whole what we were talking about, Alex. All of us are at different stages of the same thing you're going through. How can I get the most out of what I've got?
Yeah.
Be able to grow to the next step, whether it's
Yeah.
getting a KitchenAid mixer or getting an uncapping machine.
Yeah.
Or getting an extractor or whatever.
No, Alex needs a creaming machine from license.
I think that's a couple
Alex,
steps
don't
up.
Don't let him talk you into that, Alex.
I really think
KitchenAid.
that's in the
$300
in the
KitchenAid.
Talk
plan.
him into a hive lifter, Alex.
The KitchenAid is, I think, some kind of a nice mixer like a KitchenAid or something is next, and then there's something up, and I think a creamer is right around stage 3 to 4. I really feel it.
Yeah.
Well, it's like
You gotta
Brian
nail
there
down
from-
your recipes, though.
Yeah,
Get your
like Brian
recipes
was
and nail it down.
talking about it. He did it for years in buckets, and 10 minutes out of every hour, 10 or 20 minutes out of every hour per bucket. And now he finally, went up to the creamer where he's making the creamed honey batch and then pouring that into each individual flavor bucket and then mixing it real quick. And it's like he said, he was on here the last time. It's making creamed honey for me while I'm sitting here talking to you, and I can do something else.
Right.
And
And
stuff like that.
Then if he wants to do,
But I'm looking at Alex's, he's in an apartment. He's got a small machine here that he can get, down the road that will fit his format, where he lives and everything. And, start, buy the buckets of honey and do the cream stuff.
But we can apply this same thing like James. James is on a massive scale, and I'm gonna poke fun at you, but I'm not poking fun, James, about still using the 12 frame.
That's okay, because you can poke all the fun at you want, and I agree 100% with what Brad said and what you said, and your honey is cute, Bob.
Cute. He said your harvest is cute. He said,
right. Yeah. I mean, I know that, but what I'm saying is, when you got that extractor, you were not at the stage you are now, right? You didn't have as much honey, but he's making that work until he can get the bigger extractor, and that's what we're talking about with scalability and just growing a bit at every year. What you can afford to grow, then you grow.
Well, I want to tell you something. This damn chat is a problem, because I was thinking that if I could get 1,000 pounds of spring honey, I'll probably end up getting 1,000 pounds this year after fall. But if I can get 1,000 pounds of spring honey, I can make it through another year with what I'm doing now. But you guys had to go and talk about damn cinnamon honey and honey butter. And I'm like, shit, I need at least 1,500 pounds.
it'll be gone.
Yeah,
1,500.
I should be out there. I should be out there building equipment right now because of you guys. Thanks a lot.
The thing of it is, though, if you get that niche market of creamed honey, everybody else is doing liquid. If you got cream, that'll sell. Just take everything you got and make cream.
I guarantee you, if I make some little bread things and put that cinnamon butter or honey on there, and it'll sell like crazy. No doubt about it.
Hey, on a side note,
I'm surprised.
James, are you've been driving for like an hour? Are you driving on an 18-hour
It's almost to the gas station.
Or are you just gonna
Well, I
get
had
beer
I
at
had to make
the next gas
I had to
station?
turn around. Yeah, no, I had to turn around and get some fuel. So I was about halfway here and had to turn around and go back. So
I thought that was like a movie set he was in.
it's far too far to walk, and Alan won't carry me. So
You know what? I need to remember that, James, when I'm driving 95 miles down to my farm just to take care of some bees.
You're
Like
using
that. At least I'm not James.
Gee, Phil, that's like me keeping bees at Ian's place. Crazy.
you have to do what you got to do, right?
Well, I got the farm before I got the bees, so that's how that all came about. I didn't go down there to take care of bees.
I can imagine that. Jeez, I walked to my apiary. Like, and I don't walk very far. You can tell that. Yeah, Bob thought that was really funny.
You do have flea collars on your ankles. That's the good part.
Well, they've got the flea collars, so it's not a problem. But I don't always walk either.
This is actually working out quite well because if I was a little bit earlier, I'm trying to do oxalic acid treatments right now. So the sun is just starting to set. The bees are going to be in the hive, so it's still 20 degrees, so they're not going to be clustered. This should work out very, very well for us here today.
Hey, James, since you're on the stream tonight, yesterday, and I don't know if Robert's in the chat, but we had a discussion. He is in Ohio. The expo is in Kentucky, which is not very far from where he's at, I don't think. But he was saying that he didn't think that there would be anything worth buying that would justify the price of his ticket for him. Okay. But then I said, well, James came down and he saved enough, but I don't know if he saved enough to pay for his trip because of the distance from Canada. But, I mean, did you see significant savings on items there that you purchased at the show that made it worth your trip down to Hive Life last year?
I did not pay for my trip down to Hive Life last year, but I did pay for a good portion. I'd say probably about 50% of it. But what's going to be better than that is the networking that we talked about earlier that I have made. And that networking is by far worth 5, 6, 7 times the value of the ticket.
Yeah, because you hooked up with Cowan, and they helped you out, didn't they?
Not with the trailer on. So.
Oh
yeah, no, Cowan helped me out hugely, and I mean, I'd recommend Cowan equipment because it's built the way it is, and B, just for the customer service alone, I would recommend Cowan.
Well, you had to be there, James, because your damn queen grafting
table.
Man,
Absolutely.
you were like front and center on that deal. That was cool.
Well, and they sold well, like in the auction, so that paid. Well, hopefully they're still doing the same thing because that should have paid for. I think it was 1 or possibly 2 kids to go to the Hive Life conference this year. So hopefully, they're still doing that with that.
Well, it appears they are.
Excellent. So I am at the apiary. I am going to sign off here because, I got a pile of bees I got to treat. So
you're losing daylight.
Only 5 more hours of daylight to go.
And it goes quickly. So talk to everybody later.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye, Alan.
Hey, see, James didn't have any tire noise, Bob.
Me neither. Now, like Brian at Flower Street said, he said, well, that's one way to get new tires for your truck. Just buy a new truck and put it on.
That's smart.
So
it's like Doug's having internet issues.
And the whole time I'm sitting there, I'm driving through the lot, and I'm like, well, Alex might like that truck, and Alex might like that truck. And And I
Bob
said,
just
hell,
likes
if
to
I was
torment
there, I would have sold
the
him my truck and then just bought the other truck.
You know what? Did you trade your truck in?
I did, yeah.
Because what you were talking about, I was like, shit, I should buy Bob's truck.
Then everybody would be complaining your tires are too loud.
I don't give a shit.
And I talked to Tim. See, I talked to Tim at Gunline. He's like, I like loud tires. I mean, you could tell where he's from, right? Us Southern boys are like, that's how we do around here.
When he was saying that, I was like, that just sounds like a truck,
redneck truck, just like everybody
butters
else
on it. No big deal.
Now Mr. Sam can't hide from you. He won't be able to hear you come down.
Well, you know, it's funny because I drove my new truck over to his house the other day when I was coming back from the training. It didn't see him, didn't come out. And I'm like, I got to go. And I just left, right? Because he's only a few miles down the road. So he didn't pop out. He didn't hear my truck coming.
Yeah, I got made fun of
here. The engine a bit.
When I got my Tundra and it was somewhat new.
I'll be right back, guys.
My buddy was like, "Yeah, you and your car truck." That's what he said.
Car
truck, yeah. Because it was, it's so quiet and smooth when it was driving. It's like trucks aren't supposed to do that.
Hey, the new truck though, it feels, my F-150 felt more like a car ride. The new truck definitely feels like a truck ride. I mean, you could tell the suspension is different. You can, it's bigger. It's long as a damn Expedition. I parked next to an Expedition when I was at training, and I think it's longer actually than the Expedition. It's quite big. Let me see. Oh yeah, Keith says I can hear one of the guys that works for him coming 2 miles down the road.
That's that. Whoa.
Yeah, that's exactly what
Get
it
up
is.
to speed. It's that.
But yeah, it's gonna be. I don't know. I'll wait till the payments. I'm not so worried about the payments as I am that tax bill that's gonna come. Because I don't know if you remember me complaining about the other vehicle, that it was $800 and some. Now, this vehicle that I bought has a value that's greater than the last vehicle, so it's going to be a higher tax bill. So I'll be interested. Well, I'm curious.
So do they have sales tax down when you buy that truck?
Absolutely.
They have a sales tax and they cap it, but then they give us a property tax, and we pay the property tax every year.
You got to pay property tax on your automobile. We don't have to do that.
And
Personal
every year
tax.
it goes down, supposedly, except my F-150 went up this year for some reason, but it's supposed to go down every year because the value of your car is supposed to drop every year. But COVID, thank you, made everything go up in value, which made my taxes go higher on my F-150. But when this one comes, I'm guaranteeing it's over $1,000.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, Christ almighty.
And in Georgia, you just pay what they call an ad valorem property tax when you first buy it, and then you don't pay it. And now if I traded it and someone else bought it, or someone else bought it from me before they could get it registered, they would have to pay. But other than that, you pay it one time and then $25 a year for your plate, and that's it. So it's going to be very interesting. But I'm sure I'll let y'all know how much they cracked me in the head for.
That's a lot.
Well, yeah, I had quite a bit of fun today. Spoke to a lot of people, and I was really amazed. I'm glad I listened to Brad. I'm really, really glad.
Well, we try, Alex. We all try to only have the best intentions and kind of nudge it.
Yes, yeah. Sometimes though it goes that way.
Right. Well, the only thing we ask is that you just receive it in and don't say, well, I can't do that because of this, and I can't do that because of that. I can't, and I won't has never accomplished anything.
Except for don't listen to them when they're telling you to buy the license uncapper, okay?
when you get
incrementally.
when you get the,
Whenever I see Bob and Lyson on Capper, I just see like that thing eating a frame.
Doesn't do that.
Larimore, I did not get an email. Let me refresh and see.
That poor plastic frame, man. Like you could see
it crushed it.
Help!
So yeah, I'm gonna be changing that this year too. So this chat helps me as well, guys. It's not just me doing live chats to do live chats. I actually learn stuff in here too, right? So it's
so Bob, are you getting away completely from plastic frames? Is that because of the end capper?
Well, that's partially it. The other reason is I looked back at the reasoning that I bought the plastic frames to begin with was because they were half the price the wooden ones were. They are no longer half the price of what the wooden ones were. So it doesn't make that much sense anymore, right? If I can buy the last plastic frames I bought was when James was down here, they cost me $3.20 a piece, right? So I can order the wooden frames in bulk and get them cheaper per frame doing that. So I'm going to do that, right? I mean, I'm moving more to deeps. I'm not going to get rid of my mediums until they're ready to be just cycled out altogether. But
really, you're going to go deeps on your honey frames too?
Everything. Think about this. In the United States, now there's obviously hives that can do more, but we average 50 pounds a colony. A deep super will hold over 50 pounds of honey.
Right.
So best case scenario, not best case, on average, you'll get one deep super full of honey per colony. Right?
Right.
So I've got to buy one deep, 10 frames, as compared to 2 mediums and 20 frames.
No, I agree. It's more economical to buy it, but man, that is picking that son of a bitch up.
Yeah.
Hive lister.
Pretend it's a 10 frame top bar hive.
Well, kill me once or kill me twice, right? So you're either going to move half the boxes once or twice the boxes once.
Right.
So it's just, now I'm lifting more weight less times.
Hey, look who's here. Been a while. Hey, Mark. Good to see you, buddy.
How are y'all?
That feller over there. Ain't seen him in so long that we almost don't recognize him.
He's got his little name down there.
Oh, okay. It's Mark. There we go.
Oh, man. Good to see
Doesn't
you.
have his bib overs on.
Yeah, he doesn't have his no shirt and overalls there.
Yeah. I got my bed clothes on.
You don't need to borrow Charlie's lifter. You need to borrow a lifter from somebody that has a lifter.
Hey, speaking of them lifters, will they lift like if you got handles on your supers, like not the dug in type handles, but like if you've added handles, if you added handles on.
I don't know, because Mike Berry has cleats on his, and he bought the lifter, and he's converting his boxes. So I don't know. I can't say. I can't see why it wouldn't, but you might want to modify the little handle thing so that it doesn't have that flapper on it. You might want to just have a straight bar that you can slide in. I don't know. I really don't know.
Some of mine's got it, some don't.
I did not ask what's shipping for 10 boxes. Is that you, Bob?
Yeah, I did it. I did it on the stream chat, and that's why I showed up as you, Charlie. Sorry.
Okay.
So Brad, I'm trying to remember on your lifter. Do the arms come to the front and the back, or to the side? It comes to the front and the back, right? Have to, because your colonies are side by side touching, right?
Oh yeah, front and back. So the arms would, if they're the long way of the box, but you can adjust it. You could pick them up either way, so you could adjust the arms shorter and pick it up the other way if you wanted.
Well, I mean, on my boxes, I just have add-on handles in the front and back. I don't have anything on the sides.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, you could do it either way. And that's why he adjusted. I keep meaning to bore a hole in it or something, or pin it so that it's always the same, because all my boxes are identical, and the little screw adjustments where you, not adjustments, but when you set it to where you want it, and then you tighten these little thumb screws down so it doesn't move, it always moves, after a while. So I always keep meaning to drill a hole in that, put a pin in it or something, so that it just stays where it's supposed to stay. But that's just me, because all my boxes are the same.
I like the little cleats on mine. That way, whenever I tip it over to blow the bees out, it don't flip over all the way. The little cleat kind of holds it at an angle just a little bit, and I can take the blower and just blow them right out. It don't flip over on me. And it's easier to handle, Of course, I don't have a lifter.
Yeah, I can see that. Have a cleat. I often thought of that. Boy, if they had a cleat, boy, that'd be easy to grab, easy to hang on to.
The thing that I think about with a lifter is you kind of set your whole apiary up to have room to move the lifter. I couldn't do that. I have a little tiny apiaries that you can't get around in.
Yeah,
and I kind of have to be that way because I have pigs and cows and stuff that knock over the hive. So
you definitely take that into account. Like that long one that like Mike Berry has, James has a really long one.
Right.
I'd have to change my apiary a little bit if I wanted to use that. It's a little bit longer than what would really fit between some of my spaces, but so there's just a slight modification in the apiary to accommodate. That's all. And when I'm pulling honey too, I set down my little pallet where I'm going to put my honey. I have to make sure I strategically set that in the right place so that I can get between that pallet and my hives, and I can
swing it around.
Actually come up to the pallet and set the boxes on it. So it's not difficult to know where to put it, but you have to put it exactly where it should be, because if you put it the wrong place, you're kind of hooped in some ways.
Yeah. I noticed when you're working that, I was like, he looks like the Ginsu knife guy who's really worked with this a long time. He's like,
yeah,
you don't think I would look that good on the
the first half hour with it every season is kind of, I'm all thumbs, but then after a while I kind of get a lot better at it.
I know I don't usually use deep frames for my honey, but today I picked up a couple that I had 9 frames in deep. I realized I'm not young anymore.
Your suckers are heavy for sure.
I bet you felt that down in your Netherland.
Yeah, I sure did.
But you're talking about your cleats, and I know what you mean, because if I pick up a deep full of honey with just those routed in handles, boy, that's tough. But if I can get that up and I can get my hands under it,
I got to get my hands under the box. Under the box, and then get it up on my waist.
Not that hard to carry around.
If you can get it up about waist high, you're okay. But anything higher,
get your hands
or
under
lower,
it,
where you have to put your back into it, man. That's
those
tough.
little handles. You get your fingertips in those little handles and try to lift that. Man, that's hard to do.
Yeah.
If you can get under it, it's not nearly as hard.
On that 4-wheel drive of mine, I can get up to about. Of course, it sets up pretty high, and I can get up to about 5 high with mediums. But with them deeps, that third one is all I can do to get it up there.
Yeah, there's no way. Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, I remember my first year.
Hey, Carl.
I was a long ways from having a lift. I actually had a lifter, but it wouldn't lift enough weight to lift the top, I think 4 deeps or so, and it wouldn't lift high enough to lift the top 2 or 3. So I was setting escapes. I remember my first year doing that. It wasn't my first year either. It was 16, 17. It was like my second or third year. And I remember offloading those things. They were 6 high, putting my escape on, putting on the next 4. I'd put on 3, and then I'd put on 1, I think. And then I would have to hand bomb the last 2 deeps full of honey overhead on top of that. Man, was that hard to do.
I remember, Brad, when you first started doing videos.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I remember when James come in there, I was like, "Who is this guy?" You know, he had everything all neat and stuff, and I was like, "I don't know who that is." I remember when he started. It wasn't that long ago. Don't seem like.
It wasn't long ago. It wasn't long
Uh,
ago at all. I didn't do very many in the early days, but started doing more as time went on. Only a couple of years ago, I started doing a lot more videos.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was Stan Gore. That's his fault. Blame it on Stan. He got a hold of me one day and he said, "I want you to do more YouTube videos." So he sent me a camera. He sent me a Sony Handycam
That's cool.
for nothing. He's for free. And so that's what I used to make my videos for the first few years.
I tried making a video out there in the wood shop. That ain't easy.
No,
that is tough.
it's time consuming too.
Yeah, and then you forget what you was measuring and all that, and you're like, I got the camera going, I forgot. That's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I started, my first rule, like the first thing I really learned was don't try and edit it real time. Just make sure you get the content. Like you can always take stuff out, but you can't put things in that you didn't do or didn't say.
Yeah.
So just cover it all, and then you can chop it up in post.
That's what I do. And especially since my first language is French, I make a lot of mistakes when I speak.
So you're swearing in French, and then you have to
No,
take that part out.
He drops a box.
I garble my words.
French.
Lots of ums and
Tabernac.
Flambeau.
Oh, I gotta edit that out.
I'll oftentimes lose my train of thought because I think in both languages at once, and sometimes it just goes.
So I want to point out a comment that Daisy's Honey Steve, he said, "I dropped the full deep this year from 6 supers high."
Oh.
You need to comment, Daisy, what the result of that was. That had to be.
Well, here's a similar story. I was putting my last honey pull in. I had 7 skids of honey, so that's 7 of my little 2-way pallets with 4 high. So there's 8 deeps on each pallet, and I'm pushing them into my honey house, and a big storm come up, and I'm getting absolutely soaked. So I'm getting a little bit anxious to get this done, right? Get this stuff in here and get out of the rain. And I had to just push it another couple of inches with the tractor to get it in the door. So I closed the door, and I gave the treadle on the tractor a poke with my foot, and the tractor went boom. We gave it a really good push, and everything went crash into the honey house. I had deeps on their side, upside down. I had piles of things. And I thought, oh no! I even smashed the side out of one of the boxes that was sitting on the little cleat on the bottom. I just smashed the side right out of it. And so I closed the door, parked the tractor, went inside, and just surveyed the mess and started lifting honey.
Yeah.
It was a real mess.
You got to deal with it, because if you leave it there the next day, it's going to be all over the place.
Oh, that was
Speaking
terrible.
of towers made of
My problem,
honey
ants
supers,
would be everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
have you guys watched the videos from the University of Guelph? Because behind Paul Kelly,
that really
there's
tall
a
stack.
tower of supers.
Yeah.
It must be 20 high.
Yeah,
I don't know how they make it stand. It's crazy.
That's got to be a gimmick. They got to have something in there.
Well, they got guy wires or something on it, don't they?
Probably.
Yeah, well, they do.
'Cause it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's got to be a gimmick. There's no way that would stand, because once you get them about 7 or 8 high, they get pretty tipsy.
There was one of the guys I know. He was doing a video and he was showing off, and the kind of the show off thing for these guys is see how many when they're setting new boxes in the yard, they'll take them off the truck and they'll see how many empty boxes with empty comb that they can carry. And these guys are carrying a lot. Like they'll carry 6 or 8 or 10 boxes in a stack at one time. They'll carry it across the yard. And he said, yeah, you should put this video. And I commented, I said, yeah, but they're empty. You should carry those when they're full. That's the challenge. I can only carry about 5 of those when they're full. You didn't think that was very funny.
You can only carry 5 of them on your lifter, right?
No, you have to carry my hand.
Yeah, whatever.
With those tiny handles?
I forget. I forget you're like Sasquatch. when I see you manhandle that lifter, and I look at he handles that pretty good. You look pretty comfortable with that, and I'm thinking, oh shit, he's twice the size I am. There's no way I could do that.
Well, Sasquatch. You know what Sasquatch always says: believe in yourself, even when nobody else does.
You know what? Exactly. Especially up there where you are, because Sasquatch, nobody believes in him, yet he continues on.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm kind of a normal sized guy from where I come from. The neighborhood I come from is a land of giants. I'll tell you that.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I'm only 5'7". I'm pretty short. So.
Well, like I said in the earlier live, when I grew up, the old fellas in my neighborhood were all log drivers, right? Like these were tough men. They were pretty amazing people.
Yep.
So Brad, do you use barrels, or are you still in the bucket club?
I'm bucket brigade.
Okay.
My tractor won't lift a barrel very well. I can lift it off the ground to move it, but I can't load it on anything.
Right.
I got
my little tractor won't pick it up either. About 600 pounds is max capacity for that little tractor. It's not going to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I can lift a lot of weight enough to move it, but I can't really maneuver it. I can't, I've moved 1,200-pound round bales in my hayfield, but I can get enough weight off that I can move them. That's not lifting them, right? So
just getting them off the ground. Yeah, it's different.
My tractor to lift, say if I lift something onto my trailer, lifting about 6 deeps on my on my little pallet is about enough. If I really try hard, I can lift 8 deeps onto that trailer.
Yeah, 6 deep is about half the weight of a barrel.
604. Oh
right.
No, 6 deeps be about 250 pounds.
About 80 pounds a piece.
300 pounds.
Okay, I was thinking 50 pounds a piece, right?
Yeah, it really depends on production, but they'd be similar to,
So it'd be 300 pounds, right? And I just did a calculation. 50 times 12 is 600.
So
them deeps I picked up today was more than any 50 pounds.
They can be 70 when they're really stuffed with honey. They're probably 70.
It's funny on the forums. Every time I read about deeps, they get heavier. It's like, oh, deeps are 150 pounds.
No. You know what? You're right, Mark. Because when I see a really full super of medium super of honey, I think I can probably get right around 30 pounds of honey out of that. That's not the weight of the super frame.
I usually get 2 supers to fill up a 5-gallon bucket.
So
in general. So if I got 10 supers out there, that's generally going to be about 5 buckets. That's all the way to the top. You barely can't get the lid on.
Are you doing all deeps?
No, I don't do deep. So I've got a few. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah, I'm so lazy. I'm trying to figure out this Texas deep situation, so I don't have to pick up anything. It's a deep and a medium combined, and I make my own frames, so I don't ever have to pick up anything in that way, just except for honey supers.
That's the way to do it. Make something you can't lift, and then you ain't gonna.
They did that already. They call it a flow hive.
Get a horizontal. You can't lift that.
Yeah, you're right about that. But I don't know. I like the idea of pulling supers and taking them in. Taking them inside. So and being able to isolate the queen and push her down. But I also I played around with a single deep brood management. That's pretty interesting, but that's why I don't have to buy a lot of sugar. I don't do much of that. You do the single deep, you're going to be buying a lot of sugar at the end of the year.
Right. I try to combine everything in doubles in the winter, and then I'll split them come spring. Like I may get down to 60 colonies.
Well, now you're shooting holes in my theory, because I'm sitting there thinking like, man, if I just had regular deeps and put another deep on top, the drawn comb, you're ready for splits in the spring. You can't do that with the system I'm trying to put toward. So
I'll just take probably 50 of them and split them.
Yeah.
And I'll make 100 out of them. You know, I won't do all of them, but a lot of them I'll use for other things.
Well, that's the thing I learned from Ian on his system is he's double deeps early in the spring, and then he splits them and goes to singles, and then he repeats it every year. So, you know, that's a pretty efficient system if you can do it.
Yeah, it's a good system. It's easy. It makes for easy workload. Like it's very progressive.
Yeah,
you don't have to do much special.
Here lately, I've been thinking, you know, there wouldn't be any harm in doing a single deep brood management and then doing at the end of the year doing a double deep, trying to get them to fill that with honey. But you
that's basically what I do. I do single brood chamber management through the honey season, and then I throw my third medium back on, and then they fill that up with honey.
Right.
You know, or they have done it for the last 2 years.
Yeah, I've got one colony that's set up like that. So it's 3 mediums. But what I was thinking was that if you could figure out a way to get a second medium on there at the end of the year, so you went into the spring, you could do an easy split off of that and then go back to your mediums. But you kind of have to have some deeps full of honey. You're not going to get that system because sometimes those bees are not going to move up and they're just going to fill that second box full of honey no matter what you think they're going to do. So that queen's not always going to move up. Hey, Todd.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Had to eat a quick supper.
I know I pulled up in one of my apiaries today to finish getting the honey off, and it's sitting in a 50-acre set-aside field. And as far as you can see across there was goldenrod getting ready to bloom. It's just this thick. So I shouldn't have to feed none there. Yeah.
Are you going to take any of that? Are you going?
I don't plan on it, really. I think I'm just going to leave it for them. I've got all the honey I need.
My doorbell's ringing in there. Hold on. Go ahead. You keep going. I'm going to have to go answer the door.
Bob, was you trying to talk?
He's talking to his wife, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He's muted. I see it there now.
I said in about another year, that means goldenrod will be down here in South Carolina. It's taken forever to get here this year.
It's just now starting to bloom, so I don't know. I went ahead and threw some apiguard on them. May have messed up. I probably ought to just go ahead and extract all them supers and throw them back on, but I'm not going to. I just put apiguard on them. Done.
Goldenrod over here is everywhere. There's a lot right now. Probably because of the insane amount of rain we've been having. It's been
butterflies.
Problems because my supers are all wet, so I had to improvise and switch to formic acid. I had to leave the supers on.
Is goldenrod a light honey?
Dark.
It's dark, is it?
Yeah.
Be careful
nowhere near as
that,
dark
Alex.
as buckwheat, but it's pretty dark.
Be careful with that, Alex. It maybe won't make a good winter honey, so you want to be careful.
I'll remove it. I'll harvest it.
Yeah.
I just wanted to cure before I start, because even last weekend it was still dripping from the comb. It was just too wet, and drying that stuff in the apartment.
I mean, I've seen the video. I think it shook out there pretty easy, didn't it?
Oh yeah.
I don't think you're really going to dry that. It's just like water.
Yeah.
I think
I'll let the bees cure it with the formic acid. We'll see from there.
Yeah, but what I'm getting at is I don't think you're going to be able to harvest it. I don't know what your time frame is as far as coldness.
Oh, it can get pretty late in September, because here at least, like, real cold temperatures start relatively late. But I don't want to get too late either. So I'll let the bees cure it as much as they can. I'll harvest it, and if I have to, I'll dry it in my house. I'll get some box fans, put ventilation at the bottoms. I still have some of those vent shims, so put those on the ground stack up the box, and just put a box fan on top. Let them dry
Do you
1
have
week, 2
do you have
weeks.
snow at Halloween generally, Alex?
Very, very rarely.
Okay, so you're a little bit behind us then.
I've seen snow on Halloween maybe once or twice, and I'm 46. So
We almost always have snow by Halloween. Sometimes have snow by the 1st of October.
Really?
But usually, yeah. I was just wondering what your season looked like. So that's kind
yeah,
of a
but we're a
litmus
bit
test.
farther south than you are, I think.
Yeah, yeah. You had a very different climate there, though, with your proximity to different bodies of water and stuff.
There's a lot of lakes here. A
Yeah.
lot.
You guys are supposed to have a warmer winter this year, from what I hear.
We'll see.
People say a lot of things.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, it's 10 after 11 after 11. I'm going to go ahead and shut the broadcast down.
All right. So
Okay, Charlie. Nice to see everybody.
have a good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Everybody.
See you.